Hello. Hello.
What about your privacy?
I love it. I love some privacy.
Well, we're in North America here, Dan. It's privacy, not privacy, okay? Just saying.
You're in,
How long
you're
you been
in
living
Italy.
in the US?
All right. You left. You forfeited your...
Quattro formaggi.
okay,
Come fai?
the four cheeses. Okay, all right.
Come ti chiami?
Io non parlare italiano.
Io non parlo italiano. Ma tu parli
parlare?
numero in italiano. Come on. I know you can do numbers in Italian.
Uno, due, what's three again? Tre, quattro, cinque, sei, sette, otto, nuovo, otto, undici, dodici, tredici, quattordici, quindici, sedici.
I'm not going to bother saying which one of those are right or wrong, but I will give you an A+ for the effort.
Okay,
because that's more numbers than I know how to say. The Brit who went to America and the American who went to Italy. Exactly, right? You went to the US, I went to Europe. Though I guess you're technically not part of Europe anymore. But you know, we traded places, and I've traded places with ZP as we're here now for the North American portion. And I want to ask you a question, Dan. Do you think that first match was an upset?
Yes and no. I think Bunny McClock obviously has really good players, and they've been working hard together. So and we've seen what they can do. We understand their individual levels there. What they showed us today on a team play level, showed really good macro and good calling, good shot calling, and I think that's usually going to be the difference that you'll see. Not necessarily the individual ability as much, maybe some of the individual synergies with the teammates and hero pools kind of working together and having a good draft, maybe. But I think usually the thing that really separates the top teams is going to be how good they are, how clinical the macro is. And that was really good with Bunny and Clock here today. And if we look over at the X-Hydrogenation team, Sneaky Golem, they've had some roster switch ups themselves. So it almost kind of, for me, almost puts them at, I don't know, not as underdogs, but I don't know how to like, I don't want to perceive Bunny and Clock as an underdog almost themselves, because I feel like there's some mitigating factors there. Sneaky Golem.
It's kind of weird to think. Well, history proves that to be an upset, but I think there are some circumstances where you would say it's not, because obviously, like you're saying, like Xeno coming in, Rokaine coming out, it's a decent change for the team. But the thing is, I think there's a pedigree to Sneaky Golem that we've had in our minds set for over a year now, thinking back to the Hydrogenation days of being the best team in North America. But I think that is as quickly like fallen to the wayside, though. I mean, you're seeing Bunny with Clock, they had massive improvements the last weeks. I mean, they looked horrible the first week you saw them. Then they came back the next week and they made it into the finals up against Melee Creeps. And then they did it beating Sneaky Golem yet again. They are consistently showing these improvements. And whether that's just the team in general or the Pashi Pop effect, every team he seems to go to seems to have these crazy plays and big step ups when it comes to that. And you can see here just kind of the recent matches that both these two teams have had. Last week, Bunny with Clock did play against Melee Creeps, where it was a 2-1. And they previously won against Sneaky Golem, Sneaky Golem, and then Kawaii Crew, I believe that was, as they made their way into the finals match. And Bunny with Clock, I mean, it's they got 0-1 by Sneaky Golem, they got 0-1 by the Unks, and for them to get into back-to-back shifts into the finals, I think is very crazy and very good to see for a team.
Yeah, it is, and it's fun too, because we get to see more of a build-up, because we've had like a lot of players that we get familiarity with, I think, in NA, but because of the roster instability historically, it's harder to kind of I think build the stories and invest in those individuals as much as to when they're attached to a team and an effort with another group of guys. And so I love that we're seeing this, because of course Melee Creeps, you know, first it was kind of Hydrogenation, then it was kind of Melee Creeps, and we've had some other rosters here and there. But this is the next one, I think, that looks super legit. So very excited.
Yeah, I think time will tell for them. I think if they want to show us they're here to stay, they've got to pick up a win against Melee Creeps, who have looked oh so good these last few weeks. I mean, they did obviously win the Trolley Open we had for 5K. Then they lost to Sneaky Golem in the night shift that following week, but they've been bouncing back ever since then. And for this team, I mean, again, for Bunny with Clock, I mean, Aiden has shown some amazing things. It's also, for me, great to see Cool Cheese kind of come back into the mix, because if I remember correctly, and I believe it was kind of made public, they ended up dropping him thinking that he wasn't going to be able to play to the level that they needed for them to be successful in North America. But for him to come back into a roster with Pashipop to continue that drive and continue that grinding and improving, I think is a testament to how he is as a player, and also bringing in some like newer names here for Pashipop. I mean, we've seen Gibbs a couple times here or there back at Fight Night. Aiden, we never really saw until Night Shift. And then we got treated to some quality Vindicta play. And then Tanner, never seen him ever since, or ever before Bunny with Clock. And he's become a staple for their team. Like that last game on Abrams, I don't know how he survived long against Geist up against Xeno, but he bought enough time for his team to rotate in and just do what he had to do in that situation.
Yeah, and it's it was cool to see that Gibbs picked up the Drifter too, and that they actually made the Drifter work there as well. And then Aiden doing Aiden things. I'm curious that with Aiden, there is the potential for there to be the biggest drop off, and I think he might get targeted in these bans, and I think that's really where Bunny Clock will have the largest challenge, because otherwise I think they really do have a great deal of versatility, like you're saying, across their roster. And I think with the new meta that's coming in, they've got good players to cover everything. And Arctic's Billy performance, that is chef's kiss, and if they can get a Billy, that is a good sign.
Yeah, last note I'll say before, okay, well, we can move on to Melee Creeps, but I say this really quickly, is that it is the first week of the new patch. Not to discount or discredit BWC with that win. But I think a lot of teams out there are learning about what can really be effective in the new patch. And I think some teams might take longer than others to figure that out. But as you do move into Melee Creeps roster here, we do have a slight switch up of roster. You can see we have Dew in the place of Fishcake, who could not play this week. So Dew coming in, I mean, I think that's pound for pound just as good of a player as Fishcake. And I think it just makes them even more scary going into this game.
Oh, I did a rant on this before. I need to cut in. Scout in the middle of the show said, by the way, Fishcake is available now. Fishcake had FOMO, so I thought I said something. But yeah, Scout hit me with that at the very end. NA players, guys, that's all I got for you.
I hate NA. Switching up. Okay, you know what? That would have been good to know. But we do know it is the full Melee Creeps lineup now coming into this one. So this will be interesting. But I'm also
that's going to make a lot more sense in terms of the hero pools and everything like that. So, that's I think it's a good thing, and it's good too, because I think it's going to be more enjoyable to see Bunny O'Clock up against the real deal, the full roster, the full Monty.
And it's going to be difficult. I mean, Ido has been. I mean, I think. Well, actually, no. Thinking about this now, kind of expanding on the patch mentally. Warden has to be like banned by BWC, right? There's no way we see that get picked for Melee Creeps for John. Like, there's no way that gets through the bans through the first pick if BWC have it. There's just it shouldn't happen.
Yeah, and John's hero pool is pretty nice for this patch. I think Bebop is still obviously super strong, so if you do leave it open and you're not taking a Bebop, and it doesn't seem like teams are super interested in taking Bebop early, but like it's the value of a John Bebop is higher than the average value of a Bebop in a draft. So we'll see how Bunny Clock navigate it. We get the first bans. Shiv is super expected. Calvin's completely disappeared off the face of the planet today. So that will see any
the hero priority. Kelvin, 0.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's 1.
So what do you want to see banned here, Jason?
Vin.
Big mistake.
Yeah, okay. Like, come on. That's the most obvious choice. You got to take that away from Aiden. He's too good at it. And we've seen Vin almost be the player of the match the entire day today.
Yeah.
But if I'm Bunny with Clock, you got to go Warden here. But then you're giving up the Furnace. Right, and there's also Billy. There's so many high priority picks right now. And they go Billy. So you give Warden to John. And that's already. I'm not going to criticize him because like it's screw me if I do and screw me if I don't, because you still get Billy. You still get Arctic on Billy once again. But to give up Warden to Melee Creeps is really painful, I'd say.
Don't you worry.
There's a lot of really good picks here that I'm super curious about, because what did Bunny with Clock respond with? Because I would imagine it's got to be just as you say, Warden and on top of Inferno. So maybe they don't value Warden that highly. Maybe they.
Let's have
not possible. Oh my God, what are they?
Okay, all right.
John on Geist.
They value the Spellslinger Geist. I swear. I think it makes sense. But okay, maybe it doesn't make sense. But I believe in that. Bunny O'Clock, though, they could take the Warden now. I don't know if they care to do it. They had the opportunity to do it last game. I don't think they did it. I don't believe it got banned. They get Drifter here. It's interesting. They prioritize it that highly. Okay. So what do you get here? Do you get a Paradox in this spot? Do you want to steal the Yeah, do you want to get a Paradox here?
I don't know. Drifter Warden sounds like a pretty damn devastating combo, though. You're obviously running very frontline heavy. The fact they can't see you coming can be kind of crazy. Okay, so to be fair, ZP did talk about how NA really thinks Mina, even with this patch, has gotten even stronger, and whether or not we're going to see that happen is yet to be shown. But you also do take it away from Ido at the same point, so you kind of force Ido to go most likely over to Abrams, as you do see picked here.
I thought I almost saw a world where they would have gone just locked in the Billy Abrams, because it seems like Billy Abrams is a nasty combo, and with the Mina, yeah, that fully attack side is hero pool. Mirage gets banned, makes sense. Okay, what are we looking at for this final ban here for Bunny Clock? What do they want to get rid of? You don't care about Bebop?
I think maybe Page. Do you want to give them Page, or or do you want to chance it that they don't take Page and you get Page?
What was I thinking?
Oh, interesting. I don't think Pocket was gonna be picked. I think I was playing Abrams. Does NA think that Pocket's still really good?
I don't know. We haven't seen him at all today. And I'm trying to remember if Fishcake does play Abrams. I'm gonna quickly check that real fast in my little handy dandy database that I have.
I wonder if we'll see a Dynamo coming in the drafts today.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Seeing Dynamo, I've been playing a lot of Dynamo. I don't remember if we played any Dynamo together in our matches, but can be really strong. But again, I still feel like he has mobility issues, which is a pain, especially when you're like in a very very quick paced action with what we've seen in the first game alone. But definitely a strong pick in my eyes, especially when you pair with something like Billy. But the Doorman, we've had him banned quite consistently today, and I was wondering if we would ever see Doorman get through. But I want to see why we've had these bans come out, and what Doorman has kind of ended up with the patch. Like, where does he stand?
Yeah. And I mean, we got the Ivy, late Kelvin coming on through. The Ivy pick 2 is an interesting one, because I only believed in Ivy already with OCs playing him. When NA has played Ivy, even in the previous meta, it didn't really look nearly as good as what OCs could do, because teams didn't set their Ivies up in the same way.
God, right?
There we go.
Well, here I am.
Well, here I am. There he is. Don't be like that, Jason. You love it.
No, I'm just thinking you have Ivy Mina, who are going to be very hard to grab with your Death Slam, and they get a Warden last pick. Do you want to pull in a Warden with Last Stand? I mean, I guess you can Dome, but there's like 2 heroes you're instantly not going to be able to, or you should not be able to grab. And even potentially a third of a Doorman if you just put a quick door down to escape. Like, this is, I think, a very tough Lash game, but I'm all for it. I want to see what Lash is doing. I mean, we wanted to see a God, as we saw earlier in the Community Art Spotlight.
I mean, this is a really interesting draft. I don't know quite what to make of the Bunny the Clock draft exactly, because Drifter can be great, but I feel like he's not consistent. Mina, I need to see what the NA. I need to see the NA way, because I'm not sure how to value Mina right now, because it's just not valued in the same way in Europe.
I'm just thinking, Eternal Darkness from Drifter, doesn't that kind of counteract your Lash ultimate? I don't know if you cast it, if you hear the ding ding and you cast Eternal Night, it's like as soon as you possibly
cut it off,
can, does it cut off his vision so he can't grab anyone?
That would make sense, because it does have to be line of sight based, right? It's line of sight. So if you don't have sight.
Yeah, I mean, if it plays out that way, that I'm assuming it does for melee creeps, I think you need to be the one forcing engagements. Like, that's what it's going to have to be, especially with the Kelvin Abrams Lash. You're going to be charging straight full force at them, but you also have like a very high sustain pick with Paradox, and you allow Infernus DMB to go just farm up as much as he possibly can in a solo lane to become that late game threat that we know he can be week in and week out. But here we go. We're about to load into our first game here, Dan. And my question to chat is, what kind of C do you like? A BWC or an MC? Let us know what you think in the chat or via predictions, because it is insanely close. Probably the closest prediction we've had so far. I think it's 39,500 channel points to 36,500. A 3K difference. It's kind of close.
Oh, it is. It's going to be really fun, I think. Okay, well, here we go. We're off to the races. We'll check out these lineups on these lanes, shall we? So we've got... very small. The pictures are very small. So we've got Mina Drifter on the right side. They came out in the same patch together. They arrived at the same time into the game. They're on the same lane together for Bunny Clock. up against the Infernus Kelvin, which is definitely a nasty combo, actually.
Ooh,
You got the Geist Paradox here versus Doorman Warden. Doorman Warden that's nasty, actually.
A cart with Binding Word can be pretty deadly. Also, really quickly, Idle Ash. So he's not going to be on the Abrams. It will, in fact, be Fish Cake. And I mean, we've already seen some amazing movement play out of Ido. But he's going to be cooking here. But with an Abrams together, I mean, I guess it's kind of squishy with the Ivy. But I don't know. They have like a decent escape. Billy has decent like backup for Ivy to help out as well. I think it's gonna be interesting, and I think this laning phase we're gonna see some high octane gameplay. I almost expect quite a few kills to come in on both sides. Actually, looking at these lanes.
Yeah, it's you know, I think it's kind of like you said before, or like ZP was making the point of in terms of the. Okay, you got Poshy Pop, who previous game was Mirage and just was the unrelenting farmer, no matter what, was really farm focused. Then you've got Aiden, who can also be doing that on the other side of the map, and then you've got the other four that can kind of roam around when we get into that mid game, looking for picks and harass. So maybe that's how they're going to set it up.
Oh. What I don't like though is I think we're seeing. We mentioned this before. I think last week about the hero pool limitations out of Aiden, because this Vindicta. It's out of this world. It's like equivalent to John Warden or Bebop. It's equivalent to D-Mov or Hoodon Viscous. Like it's equivalent to being that massive of an impact that when you see it, it is 100% a signature hero of this player. The Mina though, it's not quite there, and he has struggled in the past to have that same level of effect that he would have on Vin with other heroes. So I want to see if that's been worked on. I want to see if he's able to do that with the Mina, as ZP kind of teased before about NA still liking Mina in general. But I think for Bunny with Clock, for them to be successful, you got to look for Aiden to have a big game.
Yeah, and this is I think one of the points I brought up. I think in the draft or the pregame, so at some point the point was made. Just the difference between the Aiden Vindicta and the Aiden anything else, and I think Mina is the hero that Aiden goes to, and it's obviously not a knock on any other heroes that he plays. It's just really shows how strong his Vindicta truly is. He's one of the players like it's like a John Bebop, or it's like a Together Shiv. It's like certain players can take a hero above the normal kind of calculus, and that's what Aiden does with Vindicta. So I have to see how the Mina performance goes, and I think the build is going to be interesting to look at as well, Jason, because we're going to see. I called you Zason.
Zason. That is my nickname, to be fair.
Zason Paplin.
Wow, that's my alter ego now.
Yeah. Add to the other one. You got multiples now.
Yeah, well, we don't need to say the other one on there, but we know what it is.
Oh dear.
I'm curious. There's a topic I wanted to bring up here. I'm trying to think, and maybe ZP wants to chime in about this, because I think this is a really interesting talking point of which player do we think was hit the hardest by the patch? As in, in terms of like hero pool and the way they played, which player is gonna has like the worst result from this patch? I was actually kind of leaning towards Saya for some reason, because we don't get to see him on Paradox anymore. We don't get to see him on Holiday. He's not really playing like high impact heroes, it feels like, anymore. I mean, Kelvin, I wouldn't call high impact really. I mean, especially because he hasn't really shown a super high level of Kelvin compared to like Saint over in Abraham's. He's played an okay Kelvin. But he's like, thinking back to the Charlie Open, he was so impactful on Paradox every single match, and even Holiday in the past.
Okay, well, that's not bad. Aiden the Destroyer living up to his name. Making it look cute though. He's got the umbrella. Okay, we fell down and we're getting burned. Vampires do not like to be burnt. Hot tip.
True. I learned that in while playing V Rising. And I'm not a big fan. Also Silver, Garlic.
Mm-hmm. Is that game good? I've wanted to try that.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good.
Ooh. Get him. Okay, give him to Drifter. So he gets the buff. He gets the damage buff. That extra 4%. Okay, it's important. Let your teammates who are Drifter get the finishing kills.
Oh, Poshy gets parried. Arch tries to come in with a parry as well to prevent Poshy from going down, but he should be falling here. Ground strike into the grave. And Ida's going to escape, going for the Imp Spirit off the bat. or sorry, the extra spirit, which will probably turn into imp spirit. And again, like Flog, it's had his damage increase. Like Lash has more pressure in lane. He has survivability, though you're not gonna see it right there as Arctic gets aggressive, really showing he's been working on his Billy. As he's being chased down now by Fishcake, but he realizes, yeah, I probably can't take this one, even though there's no blasted up anymore. But with Pasha Pop returning back to lane, he's got to let that one go.
Okay, more fighting on this lane. It's looking really good for the Mina Drifter combo, but this might be a turn of events that can start to make things bad. But can we get a pop? Oh, there's one pop. Do we finish it off here? And the heal comes on through from the Kelvin nade, which will deny the kill, but Aiden's looking pretty good so far, pretty comfortable in this lane. I mean, honestly, it's not... I feel like he's looking a lot more comfortable in this lane, Jason, than I feel like he has any right to look, if you know what I mean.
I think they just have a lot of like pressure with him and Gibbs on the Drifter. I'm not saying I disagree. I feel like they just have so much extra pressure because they're gonna have so much damage, so much burst damage as well. You have the range harass from Aiden, you have the close range harass from Gibbs. They're already off to a strong start, and Kelvin, it takes a little bit longer to get going to have the sustainability with heals. And Inferus isn't necessarily one of those heroes that's gonna have a lot of sustainability. It does have escapability, but if Aiden goes like slowing Hex, I mean, you pretty much could have kills on him pretty consistently, as we do see the chain gang come in at the same time. A Death Slam, which doesn't connect onto anyone, but the charge of the Fishcake will connect. I believe that was onto 2 as a seismic impact to come in to follow up with, and I think he's gonna go straight in on top of Arctic, but I don't know if they have the damage to finish him off.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. That cancel on the Death Slam was pretty well timed by the chain gang. And all the pressure's coming on through the Flog there to get still a little bit of health back to stay up on this one. And the skirmishing is going pretty hard here on a lot of these lanes.
Yeah, I told you it's going to be like high octane, right? And I wasn't lying there with a lot of kills. A lot of action in this left-hand side and right-hand side. And funny enough, the mid lane has been the passive one. As the Baroness Hotel was used over onto John. He still has his swap up, trying to go for the chase onto Cool Cheese. He did lose his teammate, though, in lane. The parry comes through, but John's able to clean this one up again. Swap is available, and Tanner's got to respect this one. As the binding word comes in, there's the swap. Gets Tanner low, and extremely low as he gets around the corner. But now he has to play hide and go peek. Hide and go seek, hide and go peek. Kind of all works.
Oh
he
my
just tries to blast straight past John. 18 HP.
Oh. Should the guys bomb go through walls like that? Question mark. I don't know. But hey, look at the Drifter. Just stacking up the buff +4 at the moment. We get one more. Looks like it might be good. There we go. +8% damage. Okay, so again, the reason I'm calling that out is because it feels like quite important for Drifter to obviously snowball, because there's a snowball potential there.
There is. I think this. I mean, yeah, like the stats you get from Drifter. Honestly, I would rather see them rework what he gets from those isolated kills versus just giving him more damage in lane. Just to kind of make it more interactive, because again, it's only something you ever see in pubs. You never really see a competitive play really get to high stacks. I don't think I've ever seen it past 10. Oh, maybe like 20. Whereas, Great Talon Bird, you see that happen quite a few times. Oh my god, this chase. Sai is just like, DB, come back. I'm trying to save you here. I'm trying to heal you up, bro. As he gets the Guardian down and does try to body block DMB to help him out.
Okay, so that's the first Guardian down in favor of melee creeps. So previous game, Buddy Clock, they got that first Guardian down, and they started kind of running the advantage, and they never really let go too much. So we're going to see them up against the opposite scenario. Now, what's their prospect to get a Guardian down? Doesn't look good here, Jason. The only Guardian they've done any damage to is the mid Guardian. Otherwise, it kind of feels like they're not going to be able to equalize this Guardian situation anytime soon, and that is worrying, because it does give melee creeps more control of the tempo. They can start ganking more and start to maybe string all 3 Guardians before Bunny Clock get even one. That is a possibility.
I mean, yeah, I think you bring up a good point, because it reminds me of game 1 of Abraham's earlier on up against Leviathan, taking those Guardians extremely quickly. It gave him that full control around the jungle. And I think if you're fighting into like a Geist, Kelvin, Lash, Paradox, Abrams, that's tough to battle against, especially if you do fall behind early on. All it takes is like a slowing Hex to shut down Aiden. I mean, one stun, one swap, and you're looking at a kill or two that you can snowball further on. But also, you gotta look towards the cultists. Like, I think that was also something that was really cool to see of Abraham's investing cultists, early when they knew they would have the lead to continue farming with that jungle. And we see Killbot coming through with 10 gifted subs. Big thank you for that one, keeping the dream alive here at the night shift.
Let's go. And this is what we were talking about, Jason. Stringing some more of those Guardians together. Okay, that's all 3 down now in favor of melee creeps. So the macro situation gets hard here. Now for Bunny O'Clock, they're going to be looking to take this one down though on the right side. But in comes Calvin from the back here, knocks Nostra on top. But there might not be an escape here. We don't have Sanguine Retreat, so it's going to be a difficult escape. But it looks like they will get the Guardian. It looks like Aiden will be able to get out of there. The fighting continues here. Nice parry from Kelvin. Doesn't really matter too much though, as the kills coming onto Arctic regardless. There's a death slam as the chase down comes on top of Ido. Doorman trying to get his action in, but the escape is looking pretty solid right now for melee creeps.
Yeah, Ido was just trying to survive, trying to throw them away. John gets a kill into Gibbs while all this is happening. Coolchi's just trying to escape with his life down to 100 HP. Gets stunned up on the transition. And the Geist Bomb again at a John snipes him down. That's 2 more kills coming in for melee creeps. They get a 3k lead. They also have the left, mid, and right lane Guardians all now down. And I think if you're Bunny with Clock here, this is where you have to look, where are we going to feed the farm over to? I think this is maybe one of the things about the patch that's so kind of detrimental. I guess you technically can fight with 4. But I think fighting with 4 versus 5, or instead of 5, is maybe a hindrance for you. You have to look at like who we're going to funnel farm to. And it would almost have to say has to be Tanner, and it has to be Aiden here with the Warden and the Mina. So how do you get farm to both of them is the question. Well, yeah, even Pop. Yeah, you have 3 players. I mean, you even have more than that. I think you have like 4 players, maybe kind of even 5 that you really want to feed over to. So I think if you're Arctic, you can't really invest in damage. You just have to invest in being a front line unless you want to allow Gibbs, or you don't allow Gibbs to get a ton of farm.
Yeah, I think that's your Ivy and your Nina are probably the priorities. But it's definitely a tough situation, especially when you're behind, because you have to kind of protect those players when you're behind like this. Because here comes melee creeps, just putting the pressure on. The Kelvin being very irritating. They're flying floating dome, but that's going to get taken down.
Bro, parry!
The flame dash comes on through to get them out of there. Calvin looks like he's going to survive. An extra heal. Is there any help here? There goes the parry. He's available now to get meleeed here by Billy. Can Billy get the final kill? Finally, yes. And Ido's going to go down as well. Great cleanup there coming on through from Bunny with Clock. But in comes the Abrams. Oh, he's trying to get out of there. Abrams has to get out now. He's got to try to run away. Fish cake, though. Full HP Abrams looking pretty good. But the chain gang comes through. Pulls him back into the fire. And somehow he is able to get up. But I don't think he's going to get away here. I can't even speak a sentence, Jason. It all sounds like gobbledygook here. As finally the kill is going to come on through. And Bunny with Clock actually turned this one around.
I thought you were saying gabagool, trying to be Italian for some reason there. How many punches did Arctic get? I mean, he's going to pay the price here. Ground strike through the window. But holy crap, he was literally beating the crap out of Sai's backside with that bat. He had to have quick meleeed at least 10, 15 times. I'm going to have to go back and like count that up actually to see, because that should never happen. I mean, I don't think Sai was hearing it, or maybe it was just focused on keeping the target slow so they can finish off the kill. But in the end, we're getting close to a 10k lead for melee creeps as the dust has settled at to 8k now. They did lose their mid and right lane Guardian, only the left one left to go, and Bunny with Clock is quickly going to finish this one off with technically 6 players on the side of the map.
So there you go. Off the back of that, Jason, we see Bunny with Clock able to get some tempo on the map. They are able to clean up the remainder of the Guardians, and they've really created that space for themselves to now sort of even the situation up. And that's really important, I think. If they were to fail to do that, I think that it just becomes too difficult for the farmers like Ivy and Mina to get the farm, because the pressure is too hard to deal with. And the roam that Bunny with Clock would have is just kind of at too much of an inherent disadvantage. So I love that they managed to find an opportunity. They're going to even up this game a little bit. And the question is the next move. And we have an urn coming up in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. So it's going to be a couple minutes before we would probably get another big team fight.
Yeah, and it's also like it's such an early earn too, so I don't know if you want to commit to a big fight there, but considering the lack of objectives and you're not going to want to push walkers this early, it's definitely going to facilitate some sort of action. Speaking of action, Arctic looking for the catch, spots out Ido, gets the ram rush, gets good connections, and again, this man, his Q key must be broken. Ooh. That is 1100 bag on top of that. I think Tanner just sniped that away from Arctic. Someone's gonna buy rebuttal or something. You gotta parry this man.
Dude, that's like the orb at the top of the Squid Games thing. It has all the cash in it. It's like, it's massive. Anyway, the fight continues. They managed to actually chain this into another fight. Finally. Chain gang is still up and available, but I don't know here. The focus fire on Billy's insane here, but can he get the chain gang off in time? Oh, he actually pulls in 4 players into the Nox Nostra. The combo goes crazy here for Bunny with Clock as they start to annihilate these players. Tanner with a double, and now suddenly we get Mina in on the action there as well, popping the love bites as well, and it's really big trouble here for melee creeps as they try to escape this fight here. We've got Sire in the closet trying to live, but you cannot survive here. Ido now trying to get away with the Death Slam as a defensive tool. That's not how you want it to be, but I don't know that he's getting away. Sanguine retreat. You can hear it in the background, but looks like Ido will survive. Another great turnaround for Bunny with Clock here.
No, they're not done just yet. John, he's gonna have swap. You know he's gonna use it here. But he still should be paying the price. I don't know how he's gonna escape this one. Any sort of launch. Oh my god, he should never have taken an Arctic. He overcommitted to that. He should have backed away. There's no reason for you to die there. And that's like the best case scenario for John, trading 1 for 1 when he should never have had the kill. Keeps things equal between the two teams as we are approaching the urn and the bridge buffs. And you can really see melee creeps are setting up for it here on the left and right hand side of the map. And looking at the clock, maybe they're giving this one up. Tanner might try to contest the left one, but Scout's going to be there.
The farming continues. Really nice back-to-back team fights, and I mean I think Arctic is playing really well on Billy. Like that chain gang came up, like got ripped right at the right perfect moment to allow the Nox Nostra to come on through. But here comes the pickup of the urn. It's going to be going to Fishcake here for melee creeps, as you highlighted. Melee creeps were set up for this, and he's going to be getting out of there. Now, what is the play here for Bunny with Clock? They could try to go for the right walker. They could try to trade this, or they could try to contest. They're still looking to skirmish, and they're going to catch... Are they catching Paradox? Is Scout going to get caught? Looks like he is going to evade that for now. And the gun continues to make its way across.
We're going to see... Oh, looking for DMB now. So they're going to go for a walker push. They're going to let this urn turning go, and they're going to commit to a kill onto DMB so they can go for this walker, and they should be able to get him as well with the help of the chain gang. There's 600 bag being picked up here for Bunny the Clock, and you know what? Smart trade. The thing is, they might lose their own walker. Poshpuff has to defend that left-hand side up against 2. Ido doesn't have Death Slam available, so he should be fine for now if he can just clear out the waves. Even Coolchi's rotating in. So the first walker going to go down in favor of Bunny the Clock. We got to check in on the left-hand side to see what's going to be happening here, as Fishcake has joined the party for this fight, and they actually are going to get the walker themselves, or they should be able to here. Poshpuff coming in from the high ground. Kutsu bombs on the ground to clear out the waves, and here's the Death Slam coming through, connecting onto 1 just to throw Coolchi's away so they can try to finish off this walker. And this is best case scenario here for melee creeps. Urn and walker take, but can they escape with their lives now?
Yeah, that's such a great question. That is the question. And we'll get the encirclement. Bunny with Clock coming in from the backside. They've got them surrounded. Can they create a good fight out of this, though? There it is, sniping Ido down with the love bites. And we are looking to get caught here in the Kelvin Dome. So goes from bad to worse there for Bunny with Clock, losing Gibbs, getting isolated. And we have a real fight on our hands, but the Nox Nostra over the top here forces melee creeps to disperse from this fight. Reposition. Is there opportunity within that repositioning now for Bunny with Clock to get another good fight? No, Aiden gets caught as well. And suddenly, the turnaround here is looking massive for melee creeps.
Yeah, Coolchi's low, Poshipop low. And they might be able to get a catch on the Tanner here. Yeah, you're going to get a binding ward off, but you're still going to be stunned on up. So they get Urn, Walker, and I think 2 kills? If somehow Scout can escape this would be such a favorable trade for them. And a great parry comes through. Once again, this is the only person who's been able to parry Arctic so far in this game. And he will escape because of that 1 parry alone. This is massive. And honestly, the thing is, you look at melee creeps. Who has not been here in these fights? Who has not been participating?
Is it Poshipop?
Well, he's on Bunny with Clock.
Wait, no, sorry, John. Is it John?
No, it's been DMB. He's been just trying to farm away 21,000 souls. He's not the highest on his team at the moment. It's John at 23 who's been engaged in a lot of these fights, but he's been just continuing to farm up. Postro's been trying to do the same, but honestly, I would favor an Infernus in the current meta right now. He's got the duration, he's got toxic bullets, QSR. Like he's, you know, setting up for some serious damage when he does get involved in these fights. The Postro went for the blood tribute capacitor, but also Fishcake to be the front line for that team up against Tanner, up against Aiden, Gibbs. Like a lot of this like gun damage that will be coming through. We went for plated armor really early on here for the extra bullet resist.
Smart, and another fight breaks on through here in the territory of melee groups. Bunny Clock here, they're going to need a really good series of kills to just churn this game around. And they're looking to do just that. Nice catch coming up through, finding DMB. In the meantime, they're going to lose a Walker. John blows up the Walker on the right side. As Poshipop tried to defend it, but he wasn't able to do so. But the pressure does continue, though, here for Bunny with Clock as they look to rotate off of that forward position. And they might get caught here on the rotate out. The pursuit is in from melee creeps. And you've got a very, very precarious situation for Fishcake, buying off more than he could chew there, getting focus fired by 3 or 4 players. That's absolutely not the initiation you want. And that might actually allow Bunny with Clock to turn around now and take a full fight. And they might get a team wipe here. Bunny with Clock looking good for this one. Arctic trying to find stuff, but he's going to get taken out of the fight. Having to reposition, getting chased down low on health, and the rest of his teammates are out as well. So opportunity may be there, but the window closed rather quickly.
They have to be scared of John. So with him taking that Walker, he rose up 3,000 souls. He's on 27k now. No one comes close in this lobby to deal with him. I guess, okay, I take that back. Poshipop at 25k. He comes kind of close. But you guys were talking before, like the Spellslinger build for Geist can be so hard to deal with that. John, I have no doubt in my head right now he's going to have the most damage in the game at the end of this match because of how far ahead he is. And with him involved in these fights, with them taking out 2 Walkers, having these flex slots open, it's gonna be really hard for Bunny the Clock to actually fight this one out. But speaking of fighting, we're going right into another fight less than a minute before the last one as the respawn came in for Fishcake, and they get the catch onto Arctic right off the bat.
Yeah, that's a massive problem. One of the worst players, I think, to lose here. Really harms Bunny the Clock's ability to fight at all. Now, does John already have Spellslinger? He's got to be close to the time when you would get it. Do an item check. Yeah, let's see. He's got it. Okay, yeah. So it's his most recent item. Okay, so this is a big power spike for John. I think this is the point of the game in which he's going to start to become really scary. And the end gets deposited, and you look at this. Bunny with Clock going for the trade, looking for the left side Walker. He might actually get a pick onto DMB, who is actually turning up to defend this, but he's in a 1v2.
I mean, Walkers have a lot more health. Not sure where melee creeps are going to be, so quick fly through to come and defend the mid lane guard or Walker. Wow, I'm everywhere with this one. It's good pull in under the Walker with a great card as well. The swap looking for it, connects onto Arctic, so keeps himself alive for now, but really the backup's not there. Saya's trying to get in, but he gets caught up with Fishcake. And Bunny with Clock pushing that Walker down, and they lose the urn, but they get themselves 3 kills, and this should be a mid boss, no? I guess they're afraid of Death Slam with Combustible Combustion, but...
With John down, this is really the best chance. Bunny the Clock need this mid boss. They need to come out big on this fight. Now, as they look to abandon the mid boss for now and to try to get these picks. There's one. Scout goes down. There might be other players here. Ido is hanging out. DMB is hanging out. They know they can't really do much, though. I don't think that they can really try to go for this as a Death Slam on board, but I don't think that you have any follow-up to really want to invest it. You can see that there is a potential attempt here. Ido is going to be going for this. No way. He's going to jump in with the ground strike straight into the pit, and he's going to get annihilated, as will DMB. I don't think they had any business on that one, and that's going to be all the rejuves going to Bunny with Clock.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a good play out of Ido there. You're baiting out the knockdown so you can look for a Death Slam with Combustible Combustion, but it gets caught out, not being able to escape. Bunny with Clock with a great call to just ignore the mid-boss and kill Ido, kill DMB. Now they've got the game under control and in their hands. Poshipop up to 31,000 souls now. He's pretty much even with John. He's been farming massively away for this game.
And I think DMB, I don't think he's... Can we get a quick item check? I want to see what DMB's out on his items here in terms of the sort of like what his power spike is like, or how far away it might be, the next one. Okay, so we don't have Boundless yet on D&B. We got the Tester bullets, we got the Toxic bullets, we've got so we don't have Boundless. We'll counter spell. Yeah, so D&B is not, he's lacking some damage there that you might want at this stage.
I wonder if ZP's around, if we can keep this up, because I want to talk to ZP about something, because this made me remind me of what we talked about in the EU finals.
What's up?
Do you notice, ZP, what I'm also seeing a major lack of in this game?
So I went to get food, so I haven't been entirely caught up in this game. So
I got you here then. Yeah. BRS. We don't have a single BRS in this game, and Bunny the Clock have a ton of bullet damage still.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think EU is probably ahead of it there. I mean, BRS has always been a really good item. I think one that's probably been like criminally underused to begin with. I mean, you take a look at it, it's adding a lot of damage. You're generally getting more gun damage overall. Like, they did nerf BRS by like 1% in regards to it, but still you're getting more value out of the item this patch than you were previously. So, yeah, I think BRS is probably a good shout for, you could probably use this, on top of what you're already building. This has been an interesting game. I'm telling you right now, I was hyping them up. I think this one's going to go 3. I think one way or another, I think we're in for a long one here. Not that production wants to hear that, but dude, I love how close these teams are playing each other and how NA is just seemingly leveled up, at least in regards to teams being close with one another.
Yeah, EU and NA have completely swapped, because it used to be total domination out of one team in NA, and EU was having a lot of close teams, and, well, it ain't that way anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is a very interesting game. The damage I don't think is online here for melee creeps in the way that they need it at this stage of the game.
Yeah, honestly,
go ahead.
I'm not a fan of Saya on Kelvin. I think they've looked their worst when he's playing Kelvin. Again, not to say he's a bad Kelvin, but I just don't think it fits the style that well. And I might even go back and look at their prior matches and actually see, have they lost like all the games when he's playing Kelvin? I'm scrolling.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I have to say, I think the Kelvin stocks definitely plummeting. They are plummeting, and it doesn't look nearly as good as it did. Okay, so we're back. Action resumes, and we can once again see that the advantage is definitely with Bunny with Clock. Slightly ahead on the souls. They're going to be able to farm up a little bit. There's not actually that much farm left on the map at the moment. And then they will be able to then use those 2 rejuves to try to take out one of these 2 walkers in which they're currently behind. And that should really be where they start to swing the value even further ahead. And Poshy Bob, 32k. I love the Blood Tribute. I think it's such a great item. Picks up Siphon Bullets as well. So he's going to get tankier, harder to deal with, and he's going to get more damage out of that as well. So becoming more of a problem.
Yeah, I kind of really like the Blood Tribute. I think it massively roasts through the ranks as well. I mean, I think it helps a lot with Afterburn and Toxic Bullets. I'm pretty sure it does. Helps with the debuff reduction on that, so it doesn't last as long. We see Idol here, 19k. I mean, I was hoping to see more Lash, but the Lash hasn't looked too good so far in this game. But to be fair, all he needs is one really good ultimate to win the game. You can already see like the damage he's been taking from Toxic Bullets down to close to half HP. He's forced to get back to his base with the help of Majestic Leap, and melee creeps are completely on the back foot now, with just that recent rejuve take out of Bunny with Clock.
Yeah, they have to play defense. If they cannot afford to get picked, they've got to maintain the 2 walker advantage, or at least make it so that losing a walker at least costs the other team the rejuves, and they can kind of go even on the fight. That's really, I think, the best case. We'll see if they can do it, because here comes the fight onto that left side. If this left side fight goes well, that then chains into the mid walker. Oh, looking for the death stand. Oh my god, quick knockdown. Is he going to go into the hotel? No, it doesn't even need to be put into the hotel. It just gets dropped and put into the dirt. Ida goes down, and now this walker is certainly going to go down behind it.
Knockdown and Eternal Darkness. He had no way to pull off an ultimate there. He had to wait for the knockdown before he could do anything. I don't think he has debuff remover to drop that, so he can commit to an ultimate. And they're completely preventing Ido from doing anything in this match right now. Some punches coming out of Fishcake, but he should be falling here, though. Aiden is very low on health. They will lose only Arctic here. but still have a 2-man advantage to go for a push on towards the last walker of the game, which Poshpop, he's already there. And they actually want to close this one out to take down another kill. That one is going to be DMB falling, and he's one of the big damagers they need to hold on towards these bases. The Poshpop was actually shoved back. I don't know what pushed him away from this lane, but he was taking from damage, but the survival buff's going to help a ton. And he's going to continue to go on farming here while the rest of Bunny with Clock head back to base to heal.
Yeah, I think what he did was he understood that there was going to be some kind of a defense at the mid-walker. He was very healthy, and he was the closest player to the furthest away position to pick up that farm and grab the urn. So, and given that they still have a rejuve, this is not a fight that's melee creeps are interested in. I wouldn't imagine, especially as they don't have players up for this. So, nice way to get further ahead here. Zooming on by, and there is the deposit, and that's going to put them how far ahead?
I didn't know, Dan, you're a big fan of wearing pink crowns.
Pink what?
Pink crowns.
Crowns?
Crowns, like a king's crown or queen's crown.
Oh, nice.
I'm seeing from some in chat, it's Bree Rivers with it's Bree Princess DDK. And I know you have the cup. We've seen that.
Oh yeah. I'll put anything on my head, Jason.
Okay.
You know.
I'm gonna test that theory one day at LAN.
Okay. Sounds great. I can't wait.
I see the doorman.
Yo,
By anything you
$50
mean, like-
donation during all this, during the crown talk.
You know
Who
what?
did
Yeah,
it, TP?
we can do like a poll, and we can give a couple of options, and people can vote on what they think he should put on his head. And we did get apparently a $50 donation before we even mentioned it of insert Ivy copy pasta here from Fortune82. Big thank you to help donate to the prize pool to 1505, and Ido is hoping to get a chunk of that prize pool. He's just also just trying to stay alive here, but he won't have the opportunity yet again. They're able to focus him down before he has any impact in these fights, Dan.
Yeah, it's just a repeat story for sure, and it allows Bunny with Clock to keep the pressure on, keep pushing on forwards. No rejuve crystal now, but they are a kill ahead, and they are going to pursue and isolate these players, and these are the worst possible fights that you could ever have if you're melee creeps. And I mean, really, it's just fortunate that they still have the mid walker up, and they're not too far behind just yet. It's getting there though. This is looking far too comfortable. I think you're totally right, Jason. Well, okay, Sire's going to be able to isolate one. He gets drift though with the Kelvin dome. So that's really nice, but you're right. I don't need something to have impact. He's getting too easily shut down.
I think what's more impressive is that melee creeps are, I mean, yeah, they're almost down 30k, or I guess like more towards 20k, but they're losing fights, but they're not losing as heavily as I thought they would. I thought Bunny with Clock would be able to just steamroll once Ido's dead. But I think John being at 43k souls is really putting some pressure on them, especially if you're Aiden, you're very squishy. Cool G is very squishy at 29k. Arctic, he's at 31. So he's definitely getting up there, but I think John's kind of been the saving grace for the team right now of keeping their hopes alive. People in chat. Huh? Anything? BWC on DDK's head? I don't know how you get a bunny with the clock on your head.
We can make it work. We can make it work. Production magic.
Can we? Oh, you know what I love? Have you ever seen the show Friends?
I don't watch anime.
Huh?
I'm just trolling you. I have seen my friends, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember the episode where Joey has a turkey stuck on his head, and it is Thanksgiving tomorrow. Could we put your head in a turkey for a $50 donation?
What is the chance I'll get a bacterial infection?
I mean, we have a week till the next show, so you can get that taken care of.
Okay. Well, we might get one of the final pushes here from Bunny and Clock. They're really trying to just make it happen on the right side. They're able to take down DMB, but there's a trade. So, man, Bunny and Clock really want to end the game here, but they're kind of having trouble managing to make it happen just yet. Another fight, though, with the Nox Nostra up above is going to certainly be a great way to start working on the kind of game-winning team fight. Love Buy is coming on through, but the Kelvin Dome is doing really good work to keep Sire up here, and suddenly the tables turn, and Mina is getting absolutely blasted, and suddenly, just like that, 3 players down for Bunny with Clock. The mid-boss is up. If melee creeps can find more success here, they've got a mid-boss waiting for them.
But if you watch the minimap in that last fight, John single-handedly kept Poshipop out of the fight. He kept Cool Cheese out of the fight just by pure presence alone. That is very tough because you want Poshipop there to help fight. You want him to clean up these kills. And yet John's presence, his aura, is holding back the most fed player on the opposing team, which is, I think, why we see the fight still be so close and actually go melee creep's way. You don't have Veilwalker. If you were thinking so, Gibbs.
We got mid boss. It's happening. Is there anything to throw this, Jason? It doesn't look like it. There's no ults. There's nothing. Oh my god, they have to give it up.
Oh, Poshipop wants to have a chance. He has Ricochet. He's got to worry about the Phantom Strike Abrams, though, who just actually forces him out. Posh comes right back in, and again, he can do some decent damage here. I don't know if anyone's going to come in. You have Cool Cheese off to the side. You have Arctic as well. Chain Gang not available. There's Combustion. He gets a massive parry. But Sai comes in with a great dome to delay any sort of take of this region with potential to take Arctic down. Poshipop on the side. He wants to get involved in this fight, but doesn't have the opportunity to. As Arctic gets blown up, and all three Regius are going to be taken by the side of melee creeps.
Players coming in here, still streaming off the respawn for Bunny McClock. That's not going to spell good news for them in this team fight. They are in a decent stead, though, to try to keep the fight going. Poshipop is trying to do damage from the side here, gets isolated. Ido is going to be on the chase down, and the Blood Tribute comes online. That does insane damage. Ido's got to get the hell out of there. He is burning down, but he will be able to survive with the Divine Barrier, and out goes Poshipop. He's got one slither of health. He's able to fly away, though, as is Aiden on the Mina, but that was a massive loss. Two Regius are still what's left alive here as another escape attempt comes in from Gibbs as he tries to get himself out of there. 1 HP. He's getting burned down. How is he alive here? He's still out there. He's still out on the rope, but he can't escape. Sire in with the save there. Takes him out.
I didn't know Drifter was a cat, man. He swear he had like 9 lives there. Surviving on 1 HP multiple times. The melee creeps, man, they get the mid, they get the mid boss. They're gonna get the mid lane walker. So that's the final one of the game going down, and they have the urn to turn in. This is their chance to close this gap. They were down, it felt like 30k souls off this last exchange. John's up to 48k, DMB's up to 40. It's definitely both teams having individual players who are just massively stacked in souls. And Ida with 6.6k. What the hell is he gonna buy with this?
Let's do an item check real quick. See where the items are at, because this is now where I feel like DMB becomes a completely different threat, or in theory should be. You know, we'll see what the items are looking like, but you know, should have all of the typical Infernus items online now. Yeah, he's got the Boundless in there. He's got Leech as well. He does not have Ricochet. I wonder if he'll even pick it up. But yeah, looking pretty deadly now. And in terms of Bunny with Clock, you know what the late game scaling. I think they're going to get scaled out of this game at this point now, Jason.
I mean, yeah. I wish Tanner had a bit more souls. He's got Majestic Leap. He's got Lightning Scroll's pretty big. Boundless on top of that. Metal Skin. He's got Duration as well. He can do some decent damage. I think he's more about doing it, obviously, as much damage as possible with his ultimate, but also some control to help out Poshipop and create space. I think... You know, honestly, we've been focused on like a couple of individuals, but again, I have to bring up the topic of John in these fights. He is just zoning players with just his Geist presence alone, and I really can't understate that. Because you're keeping Poshipop, who's at 50k souls, their most fed player, out of these fights. And with Ricochet, if he gets involved in a team fight like that and he's not pressured, he's going to clean up. I still think Bunny with Clock can easily clean this matchup, especially if they keep Ido under control. I think the upside for melee creeps is that Sai's had some really good domes to just separate individuals from Bunny with Clock while also having a lot of teammates around him to confirm some kills, so they would have a man advantage off the back of that dome.
Yeah, and he's got that refresher online too, so he can be stringing those together. We've got Curse on Scout too, which is going to be problematic, especially on a hero like Mina that needs those sanguine retreats. Now, I'm curious if we can get a look at Gibbs, because I'd be curious to see. He's got 17 assists and 8 kills, so... I'm curious to see like what his bonus damage is up to, because Drifter can be kind of scary in some of these like crazy skirmishes where he can isolate players who try to leave a fight and just instantly take them down. And there's the Ricochet, just gets bought by DMB. So we were talking about that. So yeah, you can see plus 48. Plus 48.
Yeah, but he's also only at 27k souls, and he's fighting people with 52k, 45k, 38k.
But if he gets them isolated, he gets some bonuses that makes him dangerous.
We could. I mean, I won't deny that I've not played enough Drifter to know in this situation if he would be super effective or not. So I would have to concede that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern against John and DMB. They are quite tanky. And here comes the assault. This could be the final play. With melee creeps, 2 rejuves. Looking really strong right now.
Bro, he's got Leech. He's got Radiant Rejuvenation. He's got Plated Armor.
And 5k health.
Yeah, I mean, every time he hits anyone, he's going to have so much healing. The Leech, oh my god, this is going to be so hard to kill John. You need Toxic Bullets galore to deal with him. There's Ido coming in with a decent Death Slam, catching on to, I believe that was 1 or 2 players. As the pressure is coming for Melee Creeps, looking to finish off the game here, maybe get the first stage page, but the counter push out of Bunny with Clock's going to be charging on forward. You get the initial catch on John. He's going to pop that Rejuve Crystal. 1 left to go here. Sai gets a decent dome off. Again, Refresher. It's not going to be online for another 5 seconds of time, so they can hold on. They can continue to make this push happen. And Bunny with Clock might not expect the second ultimate to come online right now because he hasn't refreshed it just yet.
Yeah, Tanner's gone down already. Now Gibbs goes down, and they haven't got any kills in return. Health bars somewhat low here. Scout is going to get taken out. That is the final Rejuve Crystal. But are we going to see the game end right now? 2 players are down. They've got to be so careful. How do they manage this situation? Oh, just barely trying to escape. It's really important they don't stagger their deaths here. 2 players are down. They've got to buy as much time. They've got to jump in on top of this final push into the pit. They've got to time this perfectly. We don't have any ults online, though. I don't think they can stop the damage, and that's going to be a wrap. Melee Creeps are going to pick up the victory. What a beautiful comeback from them. A crazy back and forth affair between these 2 sides, but it is the Melee Creeps, the favorites, who pick up the dub.
The stagger towards the end here, catching Aiden out again with the dome. Like Saya, I gave him some crap about I don't think it's necessarily his best hero, which to be fair, I still don't think it's his best hero, but he did make some very good plays with the domes. You know, sometimes you don't need to dome an entire team. You don't need to dome multiple players. All it takes is just to dome a high priority target. And he was able to catch Aiden quite a few times, which is no easy feat considering it's Amina who has single on retreat to stay out of the fights, to create that distance, to just use that Nox Nostra from range or the Love Bites. He had some high value domes. And I think that's the important part here to really focus on for Melee Creeps, to really get them not necessarily back into this game, but to get them that victory here in the first match.
Wow. Okay, that's a crazy showdown. It really was. I mean, wow, what a series. This is just map 1. I'm like really just taking it in right now. Kelvin, you know, I think you said, you know, Saya on the Kelvin struggled perhaps to have some of the impacts in the first half of the game, but the second half of the game, the impact was incredible. Truly incredible. Like that Rejuve there, using the dome to slow things down towards the end. Was absolutely pivotal. And, you know, seeing also some of the other domes to isolate kills and to catch players off and to keep pushes going, it started to become one of the major factors in allowing Melee Creeps to come back in fights that were otherwise very challenging.
The amount of times he had 1 HP, just bounced between 1 and 2 was crazy. I mean, the thing is, he's an impact player, and Kelvin's not really an impact player the same way that his Holiday or Paradox is. But again, the targets he was hitting did make the impact. So he kind of indirectly became an impact player when he's not really on a hero that's necessarily that kind of impact player, or I guess like pick potential, I should be saying. Also, Soraka's Big Banana, again, with another 5 subs. I think that was like 10 on the day from this person. Thank you so much here for supporting the night shift. But yeah, Melee Creeps, only game 1. That was a crazy first map of the series, and I really don't know where map 2 is going to take us.
Banana is banana in Swedish. So maybe Soraka is Swedish. And if so, tack så mycket. And if you're not Swedish, I don't know what. I mean, thanks, I guess. Go ahead, Jason.
You're full of many interesting facts, Dan. You can say Italian numbers. You can speak some Swedish. You don't buy Rusty Barrel and Lane. You know, there's a lot of surprises that comes out of you when it comes to you as a person. But, you know, when we get to the match stats here, I was talking about before about John. I think he's going to have the most damage done on the team, or probably in the lobby. And I'm curious to see if that did stick true. As we take a look here, it didn't actually. 50k. Posh Pop ended up pumping out 58,000. But he had Ricochet, to be fair. But then again, it is the guys who has AoE damage with the bombs. So maybe I shouldn't be too critical of that one. But still, putting out 50k damage. No one on his team really coming close. I mean, even DB at 37. I think Fishcake, also a slightly unsung hero, putting out 32k on Abrams, was definitely helpful.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because while you know the stats tell a story with John's involvement, the sheer objective damage indicates the play style where John was playing solo a lot of the time, just pushing walkers by himself, which Geist is able to do. And Poshipop was really the only resistance most of the time because Poshipop was the solo player on the other hand. Even despite John's performance, I don't think that this is ban worthy. I don't think this is like, oh, we should ban this hero. This game was so close that I don't think you go away from this really thinking like either team should make any particular adjustments.
Yeah, I think his Geist has never been on the same level of impact as his Bebop or his Warden, but I still feel like he plays a very solid Geist. Again, I don't want to keep like bringing up the same like topic about the space he did create, but I mean, there was definitely a lot of these fights here where his presence alone created the space his team needed to finish off kills and to keep Poshipop away from engaging. I think that's really another one of the unsung hero moments of this match is just John's space creation for his team.
Look at the flip in the graph at the bottom. That's really cool.
Yeah, it goes orange and then it goes blue and then it goes orange again.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it got up to over a 20k lead. I thought it approached almost 30k, or does that say 28k? Let me get really close. Is that an 8 or a 0? I think it's a 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 0 for both. Okay, confirm from production here. Thank you so much, Solomon. But I mean, they were down over 20k souls, and they're able to pull it back right before that rejuve, and you just see the snowball effect from there. I mean, it was a very swift line up for them to take the lead up of about 20k at the very end of the game, and how many objectives they got off the back of that rejuve as well. I mean, you kind of have to wonder why would Bunny with Clock engage that one? Because remember, they went in to fight for it, and they got completely caught out.
Totally. But that's just one map, Jason. That's just one match. We got another one coming up, and I don't know. You're in the host seat, so I feel like I'm leading into a throw.
We can
so I'm gonna
fix
stop
that.
myself.
No. You're the host now.
Okay, I am the host now. Okay, well, we are going to a break whilst we set up the next map. It's the second map between Bunny with Clock and Melee Crease to decide who takes the money match. Will Melee Crease make it a swift 2-0? Maybe not so swift, considering that was a lengthy game. Or will we see a third map? We'll have to find out after the break.
We here at Night Shift are hoping that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. If you're celebrating tomorrow, no Arby's did pay us for the spot, but you know what? I had a Thanksgiving hat that was in the house. I just had to come in here for this intro. We are back here at North America. It is Melee Creeps taking on Bunny with Clock, and they just barely got themselves out of the fryer. And hopefully if you have a turkey tomorrow, you don't do that fryer in the house. That is a fire hazard. I just stopped by for this bit. Jason, Dan, take it away.
I feel like that's going to break to terms of service on Twitch or something. That looks, he's definitely got a few infections.
Go on.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, it's a turkey. You try putting a turkey in your head.
What fast food chain is called Sidra? I've never heard of
Sidra. Yeah, who knows?
Sidra restaurant before.
It did look quite fetching though. After I was done being kind of grossed out.
I want to. Why do you have that, ZP?
He's gone. He's
The turkey has swallowed in the hole.
Why do I have it? Because it was a gag thing I bought. Because like Arby's had this like turkey hat, and it was just like it just turned into this weird like I bet you won't buy it. No, I bet you won't buy it. And then like 3 people had Arby's hats. That's it.
I bet you won't get a tattoo.
No, that doesn't work. That's a little bit too permanent. The Arby's hat like stays in a corner of my room. And I just happen to remember it was a thing. Good luck.
I respect it. I have love for Arby's. I've actually never had Arby's, but they used to sponsor E-League, which when I was working E-League in with Turner Sports, and that was a big props to them for that, supporting Counter-Strike. But anyway, we're here with Deadlock at Night Shift, and we got the first ban. It's Shiv. No surprises there, Jason. Is this ban where things could take a turn?
I'm just reading chat and the reactions. Bro, what did I come back to? This is fine.
You know what it looks
JPEG.
like? It reminds me, have you played Half-Life 2? It reminds me of like one of the head crabs on his head. That's what it looks like. That's what it reminds me of. He's got a head crab on his head.
Thank God you have the meat on hand.
Don't say I put anything on my head, but I wouldn't put that on my head, Jason. I do have standards.
I guess that's why ZP's the GOAT then. He's willing to do anything for a laugh.
For the show, yeah.
Ever told you the story about ZP saying he's never been drunk before?
That can't be true.
We'll talk about that at some point. Maybe we can have donations. We can bring that up. If ZP's here, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. And there's a reason. He never
just
says
said-
that in public again.
A, I was wrong, and B, Mitch's shoes were never the same,
Let's
baby.
just
That's
say
all you gotta
Mitch-
know.
Mitch's shoes fell out the hard way that he was wrong, for sure. We do see Vindicta being banned by Melee Creeps once again for Aiden, and Bunny with Clock taking away the Shiv for Fish Cake. But we see Billy coming through yet again with the first pick for Bunny with Clock, and Melee Creeps respawn. I think we're just running back the first draft, it seems.
The problem is, Jason, is I feel like when Ido's not going to be playing Lash, I don't think we're going to run back Lash, and that will be a huge improvement for Melee Creep's roster because he got shut down pretty handily. So I think that's where we see Bunny with Clock, where they might have problems. So they need to find a way to improve their draft, and I'm curious what that might be. I feel like the Holiday, like I agreed with you. I think the Holiday wasn't the one for the final pick. I'm not sure.
The Holiday?
Yeah, they didn't get a Holiday last pick. Am I crazy?
Bunny with Clock?
Yeah,
They got Warden last pick.
wasn't last pick. Am I thinking of a previous match?
I think you're thinking of tomorrow because tomorrow was a holiday.
Maybe, yeah, I've lost it.
And ZP's bringing the meats, if you know what I mean.
True.
Yeah, so we're getting the same picks coming through. Drifter yet again, Abrams yet again. I would hope we're not going to see the Lash being picked up another time here for Ido. But then again, what's Ido going to play? Because with Shiv being taken, excuse me, if Shiv being taken away by Fish Cake, you know what? Let's just do it. You know, I got my own ad sponsor here.
I knew we were getting paid for this.
Yeah, you know what's coming? 2026, boys. We're being sponsored by fast food.
Yeah, all of them at once. They were all cool. They were all cool with that cross promotion of different.
I'm just waiting for you to bust out your drink. It just says bride.
Oh yeah. I don't have it with me right now. Okay, so this has basically been identical. I still don't think the pocket ban is necessary, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they know better. Probably, I'm sure.
Smart to turn to
I mean, there's clearly a reason they're doing it, right? Because you're forcing Ido off off pocket, and you either need to force Fish Cake to play something else, or you force Ido to play something else. And Mina's also taken away from Ido. Not to say he can't play other heroes besides Abrams, Mina, Pocket, but you're like severely limiting his pool. But there's the first switch up coming through with Calvin being taken by Bunny with Clock, and I think they kind of realized, it was very frustrating getting one person solo domed.
Doorman is this is around where Doorman was picked up as well, and Ivy. So I think it was Doorman Ivy last time. So they go for the Kelvin instead, leaving open the Ivy. So what their playstyle in the last game tells us is that maybe there's like a race that they're looking for. Maybe they're looking for another M1 like an Ivy to fill out that last spot. Unless Ivy is open, maybe they just think Ivy's going to be open.
Had to finish the chapter I was on.
Okay. So with Kelvin taken away, going for Paige here. So yeah, again, that control. I still think Paige is still pretty decent with the nurse they've had to her shields.
She's the only one that didn't get the gun buff as well. She got singled out.
So it's Fish Cake on Calico and Ido's on Abrams this game. I mean, the thing is, I feel like. Actually, I think I can even back it up. Let me look at my match stats really quickly, because it almost felt honestly like Melee Creeps were playing 5v6, just because Ido just really couldn't do much. But I mean, he had almost 28,000 damage. He was like fourth highest on the team. Still had 4 kills, 12 assists. Like he still had decent amount of assists, but it just felt like there's so many times he got picked early on, which really stunted any sort of momentum that Melee Creeps could get going, because then they were fighting 5v6 against Bunny with Clock, and if you play Deadlock, 5v6 is an easy win whatsoever. But as you did mention, Dan, we do have Ivy coming through as the last pick for Bunny with Clock once again for Poshupop, so they get a decent amount of the same heroes. I mean, everything's the same except Kelvin.
Yeah, I think this is actually really interesting, because I do feel like both teams improved their drafts, which obviously is the goal here. We were kind of coming into this saying we don't know what major change should happen other than maybe the Lash was the only obvious one. So I like this. We get that Kelvin coming in. I'm curious about how the Kelvin interaction will go with the Doorman, because we saw that I think it was an EU match. I think it was last week. We saw really interesting interactions with Doorman and Kelvin Dome. It was actually the Sinclair stealing the Kelvin Dome and playing with the Doorman, but they're using a door to get into the urn spot, dropping the dome on it to get the free turn-ins. These kinds of shenanigans were really interesting. So I hope we get some of that.
Someone in chat, I don't remember who it was, brought up a really good point during that last game that I didn't get to touch on, is that Bunny with Clock, they had Doorman, but how many urns did we see them run? which is one of the things we talk about so many times with the doorman of like, if you pick up a doorman, you're pretty much like confirming that you're going to be going for these earnings because you get such easy and quick turn-ins. But they didn't get, I think, a single one, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't really use it to its maximum effectiveness of what we've seen other teams do. So maybe that's something we're going to see to change for 11th clock here, because again, that is a lot of souls over time if you can pick those up. But one thing I do worry about, Billy Kelvin combo is going to be kind of nasty. Chain gang into a frozen shelter, that can hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. If you can land that combo, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to it. I think this is a much more enjoyable draft for Bunny with Clock and for Melee Creeps, like we said. It looks like there's a chatter that's thinking that Ido will be playing the Calico. I could definitely see that. Given that Fish Cakes Abrams is nice. He's nice with it.
I thought it would be the other way. But you know what? I mean, Ido streaming, I believe, so you can always go check that out there. Let me just quickly check my handy dandy database here. Has he played Fish Cake? Has played Calico 6 times, won 5, lost once. So that's kind of where my money's going to be.
All right, that's fair. Yeah. Maybe the chat is wrong.
Maybe. I can't believe I actually get to use my database once in a while that has like 3,000 lines in it from every single match of Fight Night, every single match of Night Shift.
Are you manually entering them all?
I was, until I believe his name's Jonesy, who's in our Night Shift Discord. You can always, go and check that out. Go to ! Discord. He set up a site for me that I could enter the match IDs.
Oh my god!
And the match IDs export the data in the format that I use, so I can just copy paste. The only thing I have to do is manually add in team names and manually change the player names, because the player names are based off of what their name is at the time you call the information. So most players change their name after the games are done. Yeah, very big help. Saves me a lot of time. I was manually entering all that data. But anyways, we're into the second game here of our NA finals match. Winner of this one will take home the money. It's a nice way to spend Thanksgiving with extra pocket change. Not to mention maybe, you can buy some nice yams or something, or a nice... I'm assuming if you don't have your turkey now, you're probably not going to have it in time before tomorrow.
Okay, well, let's see how the matchups go on the lane. So we got the Mina Drifter again, 4 Bunny Clock, keeping that the same. Now ID's with Kelvin in mid, and Doorman is with Billy on the right lane. Okay, this is for Bunny with Clock. Now, what do we think of these lane matchups, Jason?
Calico Paradox, I mean, it's going to be some decent poke, but you don't normally see Kelvin in the mid lane. I think that's kind of interesting. I've seen Calico there. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because you have a lot of block potential running on both sides that you can use, and use Ava to the maximum potential. Also putting Saya on the page paired with John on the guys, so you got a lot of extra sustainability and survivability in that lane to make John start fairly easy up against the Billy and the Doorman. And Paige, I mean, she still does some serious work here in the beginning of the game. I finally got to get my first games on her, and I was amazed at how easy it was to actually play her, to be fair.
You can't hurt me.
Ivy Kelvin, it's going to be a tough lane to, I think, push down. Some boxes being run at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this does really keep Poshu Pop under control. See, waiting for the spawn at 2 minutes to get these minions down. Picks up monster rounds early to counter push. Look how deep.
Is this a gank?
That Ido's gone. So it actually is going to be Ido on the Calico. I didn't note yet, but how deep he went to the right-hand side of the map here to clean up that entire tunnel as much as he possibly could of boxes.
Yeah, I was starting to think it was a gank for a second. So I'm like, it looks like he's so far on the map, but the boxes do be worth.
I mean, he's still going. Holy crap. Like, he's not giving up. He really wants to take everything away here. He's gotten completely into the... What? He's got to head back now. Like, he needs to get here to not miss out on any souls. And obviously, Scout's going to not push the lane so he can get back in time. And Fishcake will be the first casualty on this left-hand side. It's actually an Abrams Infernus combo in the left-hand lane. Remember, we saw Kelvin Infernus before in the last game to give DMB that early start.
Did that move get him behind? I don't. Is that? Do they do? Is it like? Does it give them more net souls?
I think it shouldn't, because
Oh, nice.
he's also taken away any of the boxes that they're going to pick up. Oh, wow, it's a really good charge here on a Gibbs.
How dare you?
He reacted so quickly to that. That was crazy.
We're taking a lot of damage back though. Mystic Burst you saw coming in as well for the procs on Love Bites.
Oh my god, where did Ido come from?
From the mid lane, he really wants these kills. Actually, they're switching. They're lane swapping. Okay, so they're putting Calc on the left lane now, and I believe sending DMB to the mid lane to pair with Paradox. So I guess he wasn't having a great time here. Again, it's very difficult for him to get in melee range because he gets slowed up quite a bit by the Arctic Beam out of Kelvin. So I can kind of understand the lane swap coming through.
Yeah, really interesting stuff there. Trying to make it efficient. Okay, the fun is in trouble. DMB in trouble. DMB is still in trouble. And oh my god, is that gonna keep him alive? No, okay.
Wait,
we'll get taken out.
Abrams now. What's happening here? Lane swaps galore. Fishcake came in from the left-hand side, leaving his teammate all to his lone. Ido alone on that left-hand lane. He dies, and that Guardian's gonna take a ton of damage here. Now DMB's going back to the left lane. And is Fishcake gonna stay in mid? What is happening here?
Tanner. He must have had 10 HP left there. That's crazy. Big parry. Geist Bomb comes through. Oh my god. So many crazy scenarios here early on. Everyone is so low. Look at all the health bars on both sides right now. Everyone's getting wrecked.
I don't even understand what's happening in this game, honestly. DMB gets a kill on the Gibbs. That was on the left side. Ido's there. They let Fishcake in towards middle. They clean up 2 with Aiden going down and Gibbs. So maybe they found the combo that they want to finally run on this left-hand side. And now Fishcake, I guess he's getting the buff on the right-hand side. That spawned on in. He's going to return back to the mid lane here.
Man, he's already slapping him. Slapping at the base.
Go on.
That is all. Ooh. So I get spanked on Page. And okay, Ido's absolutely dead. We get some great connections from Gibbs.
I don't even, I honestly, I'm so confused in how you even cast this, because there's just constant fighting in both lanes. There's been so many lane swaps coming through. We're going to see left guarding go down and mid guarding go down at relatively the same time. This can't be like the normal. This has to be something unique here to these two teams and going for plays like this. I mean, again, you did see some potentially meta setting trends out of Abraham's before, as we talked about, like the mid lane push they went for, trying to stop the wave from getting into the lane so they could rotate. As again, Size 8 pack comes in and Gibbs is caught out by another time with the charge and the punch down. Fishcake gets the kill onto him and allows Scout to escape. It's still a 2k lead though for Bunny with clock at the moment.
Yeah, crazy start to the game, and you know it does also speak volumes about the calling too. Very active comms, I imagine, for both sides, trying to consistently adapt to one another to keep themselves with an edge.
This story isn't over yet.
So 2 Guardians aside right now, and Paige sending in an all right here from the right side lane all the way into the mid. And is it going to be able to convert or help a conversion? Well, it doesn't keep Fishcake alive, so no is the answer.
Oh, big parries coming through. They get 2 kills off of that, Dan. That was the aggression of Melee Creeps being completely shut down. And again, rotations coming through. This time it was Aiden to come into the mid lane to help out at a counter push. And speaking of pushes, Melee Creeps to get themselves the left-hand Guardian. Again, keeping the objective lead for now. Now, I almost feel like everyone's going to snowball into this right lane.
Let me go again. Diving on through. That cart does manage to get a connection, I think. And the Drifter looking to get some more damage percentage. Plus 11. Already.
Oh,
That's
cool.
actually really great progress.
Dude,
oh my
Sai gets
goodness.
double kill.
Fishcake coming on through. Great parry comes on through from the Drifter, and he's going to be able to convert this one. Fishcake's in trouble right now. It's a 1v1, and this is where Drifter does his best work. Plus 16 as another kill converted by Gibbs. The 3-kill streak. Maybe we see a big game from Drifter this time around. Trying to get out of here. The quick heal from the healing trooper. And are we going to back away? How are we still engaging on this? Gibbs is going to get some assistance, but in comes the page there for assistance with John to prevent Gibbs from doing anything else. And somehow Gibbs has done so much work, but he finally gets punished.
Our poor observers, man. I'm having a hard time keeping up. I don't know how the hell they're doing their job right now. There was a kill in mid lane with Scout going down. But again, the focus on the melee creeps is on this right lane. They want this last Guardian, and they're leaving Ido to just farm up in mid to keep that Guardian alive. The same one retreat allows the escape here out of Aiden. The follow-up melee is not going to be there. Shield charge not leveled up enough to actually get the guaranteed melees in. Arctic gets a kill on the side. Ido responds as well as he joins the fight from the mid lane as the all-out brawl is breaking out here in their Sinner's room. Kelvadome has come through, and Billy's going to be parried once again here. Arctic is being constantly parried in this match so far. And Fishcake now lead the charge looking for a fight here on Nicole. Won't even have the opportunity, man. He falls where he has a chance to get the kill, and now this Guardian for sure should be going down.
Calvin's just like in a high place trying to be safe, but then he lasted so long. Charge on through. R.I.P. Tanner. This is madness, honestly. It's hard. It is hard to track all of the action. But we can give you a quick macro report. One Guardian up right now, and it is a Guardian for melee creeps. So they're sort of taking the edge with respect to that. And they also have pressure on the map. They are in their opponent's side of the map, taking away the Sinners and some of the farm as well. So big edge is coming through from melee creeps, but Money Clock not too far away, actually. Still getting their damage in and getting their money's worth for the most part. They are actually still ahead 3k souls somehow. It doesn't feel like that, but they are.
I mean, when games are hectic like this, I feel like it's so hard to manage who's picking up souls and to not overstack lanes so you're splitting inefficiently. I think the chaoticness of this I think it really tests the team to be able to play it smart, to like respond to counter pushes that are coming in, but also to maximize the amount of souls you're getting across the map. And the Urn is trying to be ran. The Doorman opened up a doorway into a fight, and is anyone going to stop Saya? Yeah, it will be Aiden there, sitting on top of the turn-in. I did get a check in with the items. I know someone in chat was looking to see what Sai was going to be going for here, and he did not go split shot. Went for Rusted Barrel, Imp Spirit, Mystic Reach, cooldown, healing right. Kind of a 3k to spend as Gibbs is actually trying to push onto a Walker here. 11 minutes in. Shouldn't be getting that down at this point, but it keeps the pressure on to force Ido to respawn. They set it up by not pairing it all last game. Very true, man. Very true. Talking about Arctic and the fact he's been able to get he's being parried constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the tough thing with the Billy, for sure. Okay, so some relative moment of peace. I'm trying to enjoy it. I'm trying to enjoy the silence. Three minutes until the next urn and bridge buffs. And it looks like a fight might be brewing in the middle position.
Going to shop.
Here comes Aiden around the side of the fight. Trying to see what he can find. And big presence from Bunny with Clock here. They don't have a lot of map control though. They've lost out on that left side lane. And also earlier, some of the farm was taken away aggressively by melee creeps into their side of the map. So Bunny with Clock slightly behind at this point, but they're trying to get active. We can hear someone is close, but where? But where?
That's so creepy. I didn't want to say that. I just wanted to keep hearing the heartbeat.
Yeah. How many BPM that is?
I think that's about 117, if I remember correctly.
117? That doesn't seem... I don't know. I'd say like 80. I think 80.
Well, you know what? I'm sure someone in production can go listen to the recording, time it out, and give us an approximation. Because that's clearly what they signed up to do here on the night shift. To tell us how many beats per minute Paige's heart was beating. But I was guaranteed Load 2 would be like, you know what? I'm on it. Yeah, no way you're going to kill a DMB here. He's just going to teleport away. And we are seeing, like, look at the grouping we're having, too. I mean, the initial spot out of Tanner, like, 4 players immediately collapse onto DMB there as he does teleport. And the same response to the melee creeps on the right-hand side of the map as they're trying to go for a catch onto Gibbs.
Ooh, that is not going to be good news for Gibbs. Catch is quite successful. Dropping a 420 bag, too.
I see the enemy.
Oh. I don't know what to say, Dan. I was so caught off guard with this game. It's just been so weird.
Right now it's... Oh, yeah, I was to say right now it's pretty even, and I think we're really looking for the setup on the next bridge boss and Walker's, but I'm sorry, but look at that again. Oh, he can't quite get to. Someone else took that away. I don't know who it was, but someone stole the bag. I've got a feeling it was Billy. No, it wasn't Billy. He only has 200 unsecured. So I just plan to try to escape. Is he gonna be able to get out of there though? They want to chase. Hand's coming up. Bridge boss coming up. This fight's important. Scout draws the first kill in the last 20 seconds or so at least. The chase still continues here. The damage output from melee creeps is looking pretty good here. Finally though, someone looking to deal with D&B. Aiden trying to burst him out with the love bites, but can he find that pop?
Ido trying to go in. Oh my god.
Oh
Gibbs.
no.
Gibbs is him this game, honestly. He's been playing so well this entire match. That 12k souls, I mean, he's not that head and souls, but the pressure he's been applying has been kind of ridiculous.
Oh, another kill for him too. How many? What's he up to now? What is Gibbs up to now on his damage bonus? Oh, he's coming in again. He's gonna get another one. He's gonna get more damage. Oh, okay. Escape. Can't get through. Hey, bro, you're burning. Okay, he wasn't standing in the flame dash. I thought he was. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Actually, no, it's not fine. Gibbs died.
Yeah, and he's lost a big bag too. 12k now. But the Earn's gonna be turned in here out of Scout. We're just running across, and no one's there to contest it. In the meantime, we see a push coming in, Bunny with Clock trying to give this Earn up for free as they do go for this Walker. They need to dislodge Fishcake here, who's still staying relatively healthy. Immediate callback does come in using the help of the doorman to get away. Luckily for them, there was no counter push on the left-hand side, and I think Melee Creeps read that one pretty damn well. It's like an Earn for free, and they do lengthen this lead to almost 10k.
Play.
So once again, we settle into a slow period. And we get the ebb and flow. We get the build-up and then the climax, and then we kind of go back to the build-up again. And the situation on the map is looking a little better for Bunny with Clock, but ultimately they are further behind in souls than they were previously. Now, in terms of like big damage threats, Poshy Pop is 5k ahead, Jason, compared to DMB. 25k against 20. So Poshy Pop is doing his job right now.
Yeah, he's been farming away like crazy. The thing is, he did it last game as well. I think the big advantage this time is that John's not that far ahead anymore, which means he can't just kind of aura on him and force him back. Just pure presence. I think Posh Pop has the potential to kill him off here in the 1v1. But I mean, either way, the pressure's still being pushed on this left-hand side. You can see Saya and John together looking to push on the Poshy Pop here on this Walker, maybe looking for some damage. And really not doing too much, to be fair. I mean, the mini waves are so easy to be cleared by Poshy Pop with just one Kutsu bomb.
Plus 25 on the Drifter there. Looking to get that extra damage in around the side. That mid fights. Ido takes down Aiden though. That's a great start there for Melee Creeps. Ooh, the doorman closes the door. As the doorman does. And it looks like they're in a safe position now, Bunny with clocks, so they can kind of control the fight.
Look at Poshy Pop though. Ton of free walker damage. Fishcake's gonna rotate from mine. He has airdrop, so he can easily get away from this one.
Oh, he's got to pop
Don't
that.
get hyperlined.
Pop the airdrop. There you go.
Yeah. So again, like this is kind of old school Ivy, right? You can push out a lane by yourself, and then if anyone heads your way, you just quickly go fly away, and you'll be fine.
Some might call that cowardly behavior, Jason.
Nah, I wouldn't. It's a tactical retreat.
Yeah, that's more sensible. Okay, the farm on the map is very cleaned up at the moment. It's like most of the farm is gone. And we're minutes from the bridge buffs and the urn. So we were about to get to that more climactic point again. As both teams are going to have to start thinking about setting up for it about 30 seconds before the bridge buff. At least 30 seconds before. They've got to start getting the position secured.
I mean, with a 10k lead too, it's not really going to mean that much the longer this game goes on. So for Bunny with clock, I mean, you can keep dragging the game out to make that lead be insufficient. But we might see maybe a catch here, a counter push. Jig is up and Gibbs has given away his position. He's only at 16k souls. I mean, he's kind of falling behind the rest of his team a bit and falling behind his opponents. I mean, even Sai has more souls than he does because Gibbs has just been actively looking for these fights. At some point, he needs to farm up here. And I think this might be a slight macro misplay.
I actually think it's some of the value Drifter provides because his abilities, if he catches the right fights, he can kind of make up for being behind. At least that's my kind of sense. Oh my god, you can climb real fast as a cat. Okay, buffs come up. It's going to be the vitality buff for the Abrams. Here comes Poshy Pop. He's actually in this fight, and he's going to get to blast down the Infernos. Potentially, Kutsu bombs are laid down on the ground, but the Kelvin Dome will get laid down just as well. And in comes Poshy Pop, trying to just track these players away. The M1 is coming on through. Hasn't even popped his Blood Tribute, I don't think, as he's now going into the Stone Form here to avoid the damage. And he's got 3,500 health. He's got that Siphon Bullets there, pumping him full of health. And they are going to annihilate these players. Insanely strong fight from the Bunny Clock side. And this feels like it could be a turning point here, Jason.
Yeah, Poshy's got a lot of damage. There's really nothing to deal with him. He's gone full gun with the Siphon Bullets on top of this. And they're trying to attack him. He's going for the walker. He might get stomped on here. Use the Stone Form to actually dodge away from this one. He's the backup of his team as everyone's just grouped up here on this middle lane. A good swap comes in a scout to maybe buy some pressure, or at least force some pressure away. And somehow, how does Tanner escape this one? The jukes, man. Eventually, John John's able to clean him up. And they will trade 1 for 1, but they lost the walker. And that's going to be pretty much equalized now. Still about almost a 10k lead for Melee Creeps after all the dust is settled. But they're missing a big wave on the left-hand side at that walker. The mid-boss is being done here. This is Melee Creeps, and with that last kill coming through without Tanner there, they don't have to worry about him. There's no chain gain. There's no big ultimates to come online. There's no one even with Bunny O'Clock around this one. And Melee Creeps are going to get this for free.
They're going to at least try to trade off the walker. That's the play. The problem is that they need to be able to escape here. So the ult, is it up for Ivy? Okay, the airdrop is up, so Ivy can fly away Gibbs after they pick this one up. There we go. And it's also collected by Aiden. So these are the plays right now. Can they actually make good of this? Giving up the rejuve, 3 rejuve crystals for a walker and potentially the urn.
Man. I mean, this urn's just going to be held in base, keeping away from any potential turning at a Melee Creeps. And I think it's obviously very smart as well, considering you don't want to give them the extra souls. You know you can't contest it because of the rejuve. You want to defend on your walkers. Use it as a way for the extra protection and, again, fighting in more of a more controlled environment. And it seems like John just doesn't want to give up this push on this left-hand side. He wants to get this walker down. He's trying to split the forces. Him and Scout together, paired up against Poshy Pop. And honestly, I think Poshy can hold this. There's no way you're going to push a wave into this walker with Kutsu Bomb, with Capacitor. This is a losing fight that you're not going to really win, but you're keeping Poshy Pop away from the main fight. So you're feeling confident to take this fight without him, or without your John. And to be fair, they've already been able to kill Cool Cheese. This is actually a decently smart play. John low on HP though on the left-hand side. I think it was Aiden trying to come in with the damage and the swap. He doesn't use it just yet because he does proc the Rejuve Crystal, the first one. Oh my god, Aiden is so squishy.
Yeah, John's so damn tanky. Washibot trying to get out of the fight, but he gets annihilated. Catches a buckshot, courtesy of Fishcake. He's looking for the perfect seismic slam. And the Walker is getting demolished here. Melee Creep's in really good position at the moment. Goodbye. Gibbs incinerated. And the urn is going to be claimed.
Yeah, Bunny with Clock had a good fight. They get these walkers as well, but like, look what's resulted from this. They lost mid-boss. They're now down over 20k. Their urn's going to be turned in. Like, Melee Creeps, even though they lost the battle, it looks like they're going to win the war here. And they're going to extend their lead even further on. Like, a lot of big items are going to be coming online. They have all their flex slots unlocked now, so they can buy anything they possibly could want. And I almost feel like this has been intentional, like putting John and Scout together to force Poshipop to defend. It takes away 34,000 souls, their most fed player by far in these fights. And I think Melee Creeps are feeling confident with DMB at 33k souls with just him, Ido, Fishcake, and Saya there. They can take on a 4v5 fight if they needed to.
Yeah, DMB is in like DMB's ability to be power spiking at the right time in the previous map that we played was a lot worse. He is much more threatening, I think, at the right times in this particular game. So that makes a lot of sense. The breakdown that you just shared with us. So you got a fully defensive Bunny with Clock team now. They're at a almost 30k deficit. 25 minutes in. And I think damage is definitely a problem for them at this stage. And the fact that, you know, Ido's on Calico is actually much more in the game than on the Lash is also an added problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, definitely more involved in the game here. Gonna be charging forward with Ava. John's gonna teleport on over. They're just looking for a catch. And actually, it might be Gibbs to be the one they can catch out here. Has to be very careful. He's trying to come in from the backside. I think he's just trying to make sure to get his Eternal Darkness on as many players as possible. But I mean, he's at 23,000 souls. I don't think he can kill anyone. Like, there's no way. Like, DMB is just going to shred through him. John's going to do the same. But either way, with the Rejuves now falling apart, and the Creeps are backing off here, and Gibbs is just giving the information to his team where players are going. Another urn. Like, this is the perfect time. They just turned the urn, and the next one respawns back on in.
And there we go. Isolated kill onto the Infernus. That's a great pickoff. What a beautiful find there from Bunny with Clock. Really well done. Eternal Darkness comes in. That allows them to now try to find even better fights as they try to pursue the offer this. This has to be it. This has to be a play that gets them back into the game as they look to close down this team fight. And what are they able to find here? You got the Seismic Slam trying to get the escape on through. Fishcake is diving down into the basement and he's going to get taken out there. So 2 quick kills. The great pickoffs found by Bunny with Clock. How else can they convert?
I mean, they're going to get a walk on this right-hand side and possibly the urn. I don't know if John can escape with the urn here. Ido does turn things around, takes down Gibbs, but Gibbs is not going to be the person they want to focus on. The Walker, I mean, Melee Creeps are sticking around for this. It's going to be going down. I feel like, I mean, they must be confident enough to go for it. As the Nox Nostra coming through. Catch out Scout. He misses the position on his dash, gets pulled away by the rescue beam, but he's just going to be barreled down on. Artie gets the kill, and Melee Creeps are going to be falling by the wayside. That lead they had is completely gone now.
Yeah, it seems like that. So sticking around there, it seems like it could be a grave error because they're going to stagger the deaths here too. If they lose another player, that would be catastrophic, but they managed to not do so. The urn is going to get carried back off into that comeback position, and that indeed should get us really close to even. And the question also is, you know, where, and when we're talking about getting close to even, like, what about the soul allocation? Because for me, a really big problem has been Aiden's farm. Aiden has been like, pretty far behind in terms of, you know, that's like the second major damage dealer next alongside Ivy, and the souls has been lacking.
Yeah, I mean, 41k. He's like giga fed. Like Aiden's at 27k. It's not even close. I mean, you're putting all your souls in one basket technically with him. I mean, yeah, I mean, they did catch out DMB. I think that was the big mistake that I made the Creeps. I didn't actually see how DMB got caught throughout the midst of that. I think there was a chain gang being used to to confirm that one.
They got him in the Kelvin Dome. I don't know what led him into the Kelvin Dome, if it was a chain gang, but he got Kelvin Domed. But also, like, 3 players jumped inside of the Kelvin Dome to get a 3v1 or something like that too. So it was pretty well coordinated by Bunny with Clock. But as you said, 12k difference now. They've really closed it down. And we're even on walkers, so the game kind of gets into an even position, and the mid-boss spawns.
Exactly. With mid-boss spawning, this is where it gets tough, because if you lose this fight, you're probably going to lose the match. Unless things are very close between your team. And it looks like they might be trying to go for a catch here, grouping up together. I mean, DB has to put in a ton of damage here. The thing is, Capacitor's been so frustrating for him to deal with. Out of Poshy Pop, if he gets caught out, we can't afford to get caught out. He needs to play in towards the back line of his team and just pump the damage onto the front line, because there's no front line for Bunny with Clock that can handle the damage DB can do.
Give up if I were you.
It's like Bunny with Clock are looking to close in on a fight, looking for that pick off. They gotta be careful though. Again, any fight that goes badly now, it's basically could just be game over for whoever loses the fight, as that mid boss is going to be claimed behind it. And in fact, they could try to bait the mid boss. Both teams have full ults basically. Gibbs does have his ult up, the Eternal Darkness. Yeah, they might use the door here. Yes, they're using the door to try to catch some kills outside of the mid-boss. We've seen this play before. It's often very good. Nox Nostra over the top here. Can they find the pick that they're looking for? The chain gang comes on through. Arctic takes down Fishcake, but the trade comes on through from DMB. A big problem. Big damage dealer gets chased down and killed. And this might be the play. The door play. That's what we were talking about earlier, Jason. How impactful it is. But is it over just yet? Because Tanner's going to get taken down here. The fight still rages on. Melee creeps are looking to come back into this one. Now they're getting an advantage. 4 players dead here for Bunny with Clock. The fight looked quite good, but they were too spread apart. And they get isolated by melee creeps here, losing the fight around the mid-boss. And they might just concede the game right here, right now.
Poshy going down. I mean, that's the linchpin of what they need to keep alive. Gibbs in a 1v1 against Ido, but it's not going to matter. Ido is just too far ahead of him right now. Gets the kill. They invested so much to take down DMB and Fishcake, they forgot about John and his 44,000 souls. They're gonna get the rejuve, every single crystal, and they have a full team wipe, even leaving this last one up just to delay it as long as possible. They could shove the lanes here. They should be able to get base gardens, and honestly, I guess they technically should be able to get shrines as well.
Wait, how long can you leave it up like this? Does it?
I actually don't know.
Forever or no?
But the timer doesn't start on the rejuve ticking down until the last one's taken. So our timer's gonna be a little bit off here. So they have 4 minutes now. So about an extra 30 seconds from what you see, about 25 seconds of what you see on the current timer. It's a long time to use these rejuves here. They get the urn turn in on top of this. So they're looking at over 30k lead. I mean, Sai has over 6,000 souls. He has 7k now. This is an easy 6.4 item. And I almost just say maybe go curse here. If you curse Kelvin, like Tanner, guess what? No frozen shelter. You don't have to deal with it in these fights.
Do we have refresher on Kelvin? Do we know? Yeah, but refresher on Sire. The double
it's a lot of healing and a lot of control with the double ult in the fight, to be fair.
Okay, there it is. Refresher
for Tanner.
Yeah, just gets bought. Okay, so there is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Man, Scout, if he curses Tanner, it's almost over. Like, if you curse Tanner and you get on top of him and kill him, but then again, you also want to maybe save it for Poshy Pop, because you kind of make him an easy target to kill. I don't know. This is gonna be really tough. I think a lot of this comes on to Scout here and how he's gonna actually initiate this fight. If you get a swap onto Tanner with a curse and you kill him, I think you have a 1 fight and you have a 1 game.
Well, they're moving into the base, looking to finish this off. The first shrine's going to get just actually evaporated, extinguished. There's that first Kelvin Dome. It's going to be good for anything, but that is why you get a refresher on the Stampede. It's going to be able to assist your teammates stuck in the Kelvin Dome. There's the second Kelvin Dome. Both ones getting pulled off, and there's a Stampede going into the Kelvin Dome again as the refreshers do battle here. Bunny with Clock trying to stay up here. No players dead just yet, but the patron is going down as we speak. First stage gone. Now the final one with is in the pit. or is descending into the pit. Fishcake will leave the base. He's very, very weak. In fact, he gets taken out. The Rejuve Crystal, though, will get him back up again. Looking really nice right now. Bunny with Clock have to manage this fight very effectively here. They're going to be very cautious. Gibbs finally goes down. Still 2 Rejuve Crystals up here, and they're going for the finish. Melee Creeps looking to just batter the final patron here as they start the fight in that pit, diving on through, dealing with everybody. Numbers advantage, nothing to stop them now, and that's it. The patron goes down, and Melee Creeps will win the money match. Another night shift to their name as they take down Bunny with Clock.
Yeah, a fantastic way to play that game out as well. I mean, Saya with the refresher. I don't think you can really understand how important it is to throw your steeds out in the middle of a dome, because it goes through the dome, it interrupts them, it heals the target that's inside, which kept Fishcake alive for such a long time, so they couldn't snowball that fight. Getting that first rejuve with him stuck with another refresher after that really did a great job and a perfect pickup for that situation. And again, DMB staying alive, staying in the backside. Ida was trying to focus on individual targets, but John again, like once again, creating space. He was in the pit with 3 players on him, allowing his teammates to take down individual players who are overextended and who were in the wrong positions. John had the swap to keep himself alive when he needed it in the fight. He was applying pressure on the patron. And Melee Creeps, they do it for another week here, taking home the money, maintaining the spot. But it's still, I mean, I cannot deny how close this series was with Bunny with Clock. Like, they have looked better week in and week out. They took down Sneaky Golem, and honestly, they could have had a 2-0 themselves here today.
Yeah, they played really, really well. And after seeing this game, I almost wondered, is it a ban the guys? Because the guys, I think, for both map 1 and map 2, ended up really being the true problem. And the problem is, for you to ban it, they'd have to not ban Shiv, and I think that's really the issue, obviously. But John's performances were really impressive, and Melee Creeps, great resolve and tenacity to just keep their heads in the game. The first map, honestly, it was so crazy how close that was. This one was a bit more decisive, and I think, you know, much like we were talking about in the draft, it really feels like it was about swapping out the Lash for something else that either could have some impact.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the match stats say for this one. I'm also, again, still curious for John. Like, this fight in particular, as we were mentioning before, you catch out Fishcake and DMB and invest a lot into taking out DMB in particular. But then they forgot that John's still alive and he's still down there. And Bunny with Clock was kind of separated, half in towards pit, half up on top to deal with the players there. And Melee Creeps, I think the team fighting helped a ton. I think that goes down to the experience of the team being together for, you know, a decent amount of time now compared to Bunny with Clock, who are still trying to sort things out and still figure out their identity. But they looked great today. They looked great this week. They looked better and better. And honestly, next week, I wouldn't be surprised to see them take Melee Creeps down.
I could definitely see it. I mean, you know, we're going to see teams adjusting to the meta. So the second week, the third week will, I feel like, get progressively more interesting as all the teams kind of, you know, cross-pollinate the ideas and kind of see, you know, what is working, what's not working, what's really good and what's not. You know, but we saw here, you know, Kelvin did get picked up a couple times, but the priority was significantly different. The biggest drop-off that we I think have seen, and Drifter's priority maybe the biggest come-up that we've seen.
Yeah, I mean, even Victor too, falling down to 0. To be fair, he wasn't played, I guess, a ton last week, but like Visca's falling. He was heavily pick or ban last time. Shiv, a part of pretty much every single game here. Vindicta as well. Billy, I mean, yeah, I mean, we kind of expected Billy to be up there, but for him to be first picked every single time, if you guys are not playing Billy right now in your pubs, go do it, because there's no way he stands this strong this long.
Yeah, he's truly a menace. His ability to just do consistent damage and be a threat, and just his pursuit is quite a problem. And here we go. We get the stats. So DMP with the top damage.
No. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. 43k.
John with 30k objective damage. Again, I think that's what he had last match too.
Yeah. I mean, Ido obviously having way more impact, as you mentioned before. 10 kills, 11 assists, a part of 21 out of the 36 in total. Very interesting start to this game. If you can remember back to that one where he was box running for quite a long time, then lane swapped, and then there was more lane swaps, and I don't know. I think this first half of this game was completely a blur in this one. But I think, again, the problem for Bunny with Clock, I think Aiden just didn't get enough farm. I think Gibbs didn't get enough farm. Like, Gibbs had major impact in the early game, but I would have liked to have seen what he could have done transitioning that impact later on. But then again, you have Mina, you have a Billy, you have an Ivy, you have a lot of mouths you want to feed in particular here. So he had to be one to give up that farm, I would say, to his teammates and just look for these picks and create his own opportunities.
Yeah, and I think you can kind of see how it makes sense because the damage output is almost the top on the team, and despite the stall differential that Gibbs had, and so you can kind of see that like the Drifter does do an effective job at being the poor man on the team, but still having impact, especially with the roam. So I do think Drifter might even occupy kind of a unique place in the roster right now with that quality.
Yeah. Well, let's keep talking about it after we take a look at our MVP though, because I think for me this is a pretty clear choice of who it has to be. And I don't know if you agree with John. I called it for him because I think what he did on Geist, being a solid farmer, the presence he had in these fights, I think for me is the reason, is I would say the main reason they won this series.
John was definitely the pillar of the team, and that they were able to just, always come back to and kind of keep them in the running. And that's going to be a Geist. The potential is there. We talked about how Geist kit allows her to do pretty much everything at all parts of the game. She offers a lot of value, whether it's for being defensive with good wave clearing and just being tanky and annoying and you can't get close to her when she has the ult on, or whether it's being like really aggressive, especially getting to that late game with a spell slinger where it's kind of impossible to kill her, insane amounts of health, and then she can just swap you, and then she can life leech you, and then she can regen off of her bombs and get leech later as well and regen off of everything. So she becomes ridiculous. So the fact is, if you do have a Geist, and if you are prioritizing the Geist in the way that his team was, you do need to have performances like this. But John is immaculate as always. He is so reliable.
Yeah, and I think, again, for him as a player, it's shown his growth because he was strictly just a Ward and Bebop player, but he showed in the meta previously that he can pick up Holiday and play her as a gun hero. He can pick up Geist when they need it. He's been able to pick up a couple of different heroes in very important moments. Is this an interview? I don't know what this is. Who's in this box?
There's a ghost box.
And they're gone. They're out of here.
There's a ghost. Past Halloween doesn't make sense.
I just want to see how long you would stare at the camera before we said anything. So I believe we are going to have an interview. I think it was preparation to make sure this person's camera's working, and I can see them already in the green room as well down there. I don't know if I'm allowed to interview him because I feel like he's just going to glaze me the whole time.
Oh, I know it is then.
Who is it?
Is it Pochipot?
No, what, they lost. Yeah, we don't want to do a loser interview. That's just mean. But he is Poshy Pop, and Jason Calvin is his favorite caster. I get
that's what I was going with.
There. But this is still. Can we get maybe the match sets up one more time? Because I want to take a look at a couple of things. Still back on that while we do set up the interview. BRS, Bullet Resist Shredder. Again, an item we saw very heavily over in EU. Not seen any of it. I see one for Fish Cake when it comes to them. Maybe that just pairs in with the no shred of like a Vindicta is the reason. But you do have so many easy ways to apply it. Like Capacitor applies, if I'm not mistaken, the proc of it, not the on use. And you do still have some decent damage coming through. You can see here, I mean, at the start of the day from EU, we had, I think as our number one item, BRS, and now it's not even in top 10 anymore.
Yeah, there you go.
Can we look at this with just NA and with just EU, or do I have to look at the whole for Shift 16? Because that would be an interesting case if we can look at it individually and kind of compare the two regions. We can do it. It'll just take a second. Okay, so we'll meant to keep note. This was the entire night of what we had. So Enduring Speed getting a massive increase. Enchanter's Emblem getting a big increase from last. Kinetic Dash as well coming up. Monster rounds. I mean, I think that's kind of expected with monster rounds in particular because of how the lanes work. You need to be able to counter pressure and not be shoved under your own Guardian where you could lose out a lot of farm and eventually your Guardian. But nothing else that really stands out in terms of like big changes from previous weeks, at least in these items.
One thing I'd say though is I think Cultist, I think there was the expectation Cultist would, because of the changes made to it, that it would actually drop off a bit. But maybe it's become more relevant because it's harder to farm onto jungle. And so being able to just grab the max tier creep is still kind of just considered really valuable. And the weapon damage seems to still just be doing the job. So that's actually quite interesting.
Okay. Well, whenever we're ready, I'm down to take a look at an individual region. And then eventually both, just to kind of do a comparison. We'll do that after seeing our pretty faces, I guess. I'll do it. Okay, so actually, I'm here. We're ready for interview, and we'll go back to that after this. So we do have someone Now, normally we interview players on the show,
Hello.
but we have someone else coming in to chat with us. Yodi, you're always in Twitch streams. You're always over in Discord, spam whenever Melee Creeps are playing. I want you to describe to us, what is your role within Melee Creeps before we do ask you some questions.
Yeah, of course. And I want to start off by saying thank you for having me here. So I'm Yodi. I'm kind of the manager of the back end that works with Melee Creeps. I kind of try to book all their scrims. Just try to, help out with the team with whatever they need. They need something from me, whether it's information, scrim information. I run our Twitter. I'm just kind of a glorified Twitch chatter. I just go around as many streams as possible. Just kind of feed the information back to the players and just do whatever they need from me.
And making me jealous about how I can't grow a beard like that. Like, don't forget about that. So, I mean, again, we talk about like players, we talk about how things have gone for them, but maybe let's talk on the different aspect when it comes to a team. I mean, you've been with Melee Creeps, I feel like from the beginning. How has it been like? How'd you get into that role, first of all? And how's it been like working with the multiple different rosters Melee Creeps has had inevitably over the course of their career?
Yeah, so I've been, actually, I think it's just about a year now with Melee Creeps. So I was actually managing with another team. That team just disbanded. And I saw Melee Creeps, they didn't have a manager since I was booking scrims, and I, saw that they didn't have anyone. So I was like, hey, hit up AVG, said, can I be your manager? And they were like, yeah, sure. So then I ran with Melee Creeps. Met a bunch of great people from just obviously always being intertwined with the players, whether it's this team, the other, the other teams in NA, even EU teams. And I just kind of got involved with them, and that's really how I do it and how I tell other people to get it. I have a background in esports. I used to compete in Call of Duty and then Apex. So I kind of know what it's like to be a player, and then I just try to involve myself of doing what I could do to make their lives easier from when I was a player.
Nice. Are you looking to kind of be here early with Deadlock because you know everybody and you'll be able to kind of like scale this into when things get a bit more serious, or are you just kind of doing it for fun and just to help out your bros?
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully long term, when this game gets to be as big as it does, I hope that I can go with the guys. But I've always said, whether it was this iteration of the game team or any of the other ones, that ultimately I'm here for you guys. And if your journey to go pro is held back by me, don't let it hold back. I have a full-time job outside of this, so I help with what I can when I can. And I, when I was 16 playing esports, I wish there was someone in my shoes that kind of helped guide, and make my career or what I did into something. So I just kind of want to kind of give back to esports for what it did to me.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask the easy question here. What the hell is that on your wall?
So outside of esports, I cosplay. So that's Fish Stick from Fortnite. I have a Cypher hat. If I really move out of the way,
Reinhardt?
You'll see my 6-foot Reinhardt cosplay.
Wow.
When I wear it, I'm 8
Nice.
foot. But it's just my
God.
prop wall I have.
Have you worn that at a BlizzCon before? The Reinhardt
Not at a
outfit?
BlizzCon, no.
Okay.
I took it to an anime convention up in Chicago. Me and my whole friend group. My girlfriend did Mercy. I did Reinhardt. We had a whole group of 6 or 7 of us.
Okay, so 8 foot, so just a couple inches shorter than me. So what's the kind of vibe within the team? Like, because obviously you've been through them in, like I mentioned before, many iterations. Has there been times Melee Creeps have almost called it quits? Like, kind of talk to us about how the team's adapted over the months.
Yeah, I mean, really, the emotions have been extremely high. Like, this is obviously closed beta, so many people may not think the emotions are really there right now, but we're kind of especially the first iteration when people didn't really have that. Hydra Nation was winning everything, and we were just kind of a band of friends, is a way to put it. Friendship really did carry us through a lot when it was AVG, Pashi, Cool Cheese. We were all very, very close knitted, and we still are today. Those friendships carry over. That's how esports go. Teams split. And then, when the team did split and John and Saya were playing with the Baroness and looking for players, it really did seem like MLC was going to be gone from that point. But Saya and John wanted to stick together and rebuild. They said, hey, you want to just stay with us? And I was like, hey, I'm here. I'm in it. I didn't really want to leave to another team. And they were like, cool, we're keeping you. And, the vibes are really good right now. Winning always makes it easier, but even when things get hard, we have a good group of guys that are very, very positive and want to get better, and that's kind of what why we might be on top right now. Not even we might, it looks like we are. And it comes from both that positivity mentality and just wanting to really get better.
I have one more quick question before I let Dan ask. I remember the first time I talked to the Melee Creeps guys, I was in their Discord server chatting to them in voice, and he said, you guys are all still friends. Do they all still play Roblox together?
So actually, before the new patch came out, obviously a lot of people were kind of having their downtime of Deadlock. So they started playing Minecraft. I'm not involved with it, but there has been like 12-hour days of just nonstop Minecraft in there that they've all been playing, even more than Deadlock. Even when the patch came out, I think like day 1 and day 2 was nonstop Minecraft. So some of them were grinding the patch, some of them were grinding Minecraft, and then we locked it back in, and just goes to show that we learned quick.
I have to. So Dan, for context, Dan, when I joined them in Discord, they were streaming like in the server, and they were doing a workout game in Roblox. And then when you work out, you make money, and then with the money you buy like stimulants to help you lift more. It was very weird to watch. But you know what? If you guys are all friends in the day and you enjoy playing together, any game is going to be fun. Dan, any final questions for Yodi?
He's the biggest troublemaker.
I have to say, honestly, that my time managing the guys they've made my life so easy. Really a lot of social media can kind of get players in trouble, and we see it all the time. And I was kind of like, hey, I'm here to like build your guys' profitability with partnerships and stuff like that. So just listen to me. I'm 26 going on 27 in a couple of months. Like, I'm an older person in esports. I know about it, and none of them, whether it's the old iterations and new iterations, I haven't had any people that I've had to warn. So I'm very, very thankful for the guys respecting me and what I'm doing, and respecting the scene and themselves in a way.
I like you so much, Yodi, but I have to say I hate you for that comment. 26, almost 27. I'm getting old. Do you know how old Dan and I are?
I know, guys. But let's be real. People call us the unks in the scene. We can't escape it.
I don't know. There's a decade between us. I don't know if we're on the same level of description here. But Yodi, thank you so much, man. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you guys.
Any final words from you?
You guys can check us out. We have a bunch of people that stream. We have Ido, Scout streams, John, Saya. We have a Discord. I know no one's ever advertised that we have a Discord. I can send anyone an invite if they want, but just hit me up. I'm always open to help anyone, whether it's finding things in Deadlock, but I'm very open to Deadlock, so I'm always free. And just congratulations to our boys. They're really putting in the work, and I'm glad it's, showing, and we get to be on top. And obviously, shout out to all my former players. I really appreciate you guys always giving me the opportunity as well.
I have to say before you go, I think there's a lot of people who want to join you on this Minecraft server. So you might have to make a Melee Creeps Minecraft server, because there's a lot of people who want to be playing. So I'm just saying, team bonding, private information from Ido. But thank you so much, Yodi, for joining us, and congratulations once again.
And I do
on
have
your team winning.
Just to make you upset, Jason. I went and put it on real quick for you, the T-shirt.
I usually like when you don't wear a shirt, but I do respect the Melee Creep shirt, so that's fair. But yeah, go celebrate the boys.
You guys, everyone have a happy holiday, and thanks everyone in the scene for supporting us as well. It means a lot.
There you go. Some good final words from Yodi and Dan. Yeah, maybe we need to do some like caster team building and do some Roblox or some Minecraft together. Though I feel like one of us will sabotage the server no matter what we play.
I prefer to stoke division, Jason.
In the ranks of Night Shift?
I feel like the show's better if there's tension.
If we hate each other?
They were like secretly just hate each other. I think maybe the thing is, it sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, it works.
I'm gonna wait till you do the boxes in Minecraft, and then when you log off, I'm gonna go in and just completely redo all the boxes so you don't know where anything is. You're like, you part gaslit, part like, I can't believe someone would do this. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be.
I guess CP's on the same wavelength, Jason. You gotta get on this.
Okay. I don't know where to go from here. I would probably just to piss you off, I would be the nice guy and get along with everyone, which is completely not how I am in real life. But I think we do have, I think we can quickly, we'll save it for another time. We don't need to look at the items and the difference between the regions. We can do that in the next week's night shift, so you guys have more incentive to tune in for this one. I don't know why I'm hosting now. I don't know how I just took over from doing it, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Graveyard shift coming up after the show is gonna be with AVG. I just hope he's not gonna be sad. Maybe we can bribe him some Roblox to get him back happy and in the mood after their loss today up against BWC. But Dan, any, I guess, final thoughts from you from today?
Another great week of Deadlock. The new patch actually looks pretty good. I think it was fun to see how the game has changed, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how the meta will continue to change. Thank you to all of the supporters of the show. Apparently we got a big patch coming in December, a big content patch that people are talking about. So hopefully that's going to be, bring some more interest as well. But just thank you for all your support. We'll see you on the next show.
Okay. Well, from production, from all of our talent, and from all the players to all of you viewers out there, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember, the Graveyard Shift is happening right after the show. If you want to be involved with it, make sure you're a Twitch sub, a YouTube member, a Patreon supporter. Link your accounts in Discord, and you can watch it live with AVG and even ask your questions towards them. But from all of us here, thanks again for watching another Night Shift, and we'll see you next week for Night Shift number 17. You're not going to want to miss it.